Wait, can we do a sound check?
You already did it,
That's
brother.
it? That's a sound check?
Did the sound check before you got here.
Oh, alright. What if I sound like shit?
No, we already checked your mic. We're actually recording right now.
I'm just retarded. Oh, are we?
Yep. Sure
God
are.
damn. Alright.
Far away.
Alright, so I'm really excited. I'm really excited for this episode or whatever you want to call it.
Why are you excited?
I'm so excited because we have our good friend Mike Testa here.
You guys are too much.
Now, Mike, I wanted to fucking refer to you. Alright. Let's go backwards a little bit. Because you're a phenomenal musician.
I appreciate it.
Beast.
You guys are
Incredible
too
lyricist. No, incredible lyricist. How did you... Was there actually a transition from music to what you do at the church? Like, did you find a correlation?
I kind of view music always as... I kind of guess I always viewed music as ministry in a weird way. It's actually kind of funny. My mom, when I was a little kid, my mom would always tell me, she would always be like, you know, one day you're going to be a preacher. And I would be like, Ma, no, I'm not. that's never going to happen. She'd be like, no, I see this for you. I've always had this vision. This is what's going to happen. But it's ironic. When we were doing hip-hop, like on the street, you know, I was in a hip-hop group called Freestyle Fam, me and my boy Aaron. And we would be on the street rapping, freestyling to all crazy hours of the night in the worst neighborhoods in New York City. And we would be preaching. That's what you would be doing. It would be like church on the street, but the words would rhyme.
I love that.
It was incredible.
Can you, for like the people that listen, whoever's listening, can you like just give like your story, like what you do, who you are?
I guess I
everything?
can.
You know, just like a little overview.
Well, that's what I wanted to ask. Was like, would you define yourself as a preacher? Like, as a preacher, a pastor? Like, are you ordained?
I'm not ordained yet. I don't have the title of a pastor in church, but I am kind of viewed as an authority in church. I mean, it is my mom's church,
Right.
and I do get the pulpit twice a month, so you kind of just earn that authority. I'll probably be licensed sometime this year before the year ends, but I don't actually have like a minister's license just yet. But I do preach a lot. I gotta say though, I think I get this reputation from Dennis as like this incredible speaker. Like, you give me like this title of this speaker.
You absolutely are.
No, you are.
But-
You're one of the best speakers. I personally, I've never met a speaker that's better than you.
That's what I'm saying.
Dude,
I honestly, God, I've
legitimately.
met all types of people. And I was talking to you before about my good friend Steve Maraboli. You know Steve, John. Great guy, one of the nicest guys ever. And
Oh, you were showing me his Instagram.
he's the most quoted man in the world.
Is he really?
He really is.
That's
yeah.
not a joke?
No, that is.
That's
he really is.
fucking
How awesome is
amazing.
that? Yeah, he's a great guy.
The most
I would
quoted
love-
man in
yeah.
the world.
Right, put a
I would
title.
love to introduce you two
Oh,
together.
dude, what are you kidding?
I have
Dude,
to. Yeah, he's awesome. He'll love you.
I've only met him once at one of the fights regionally. It was one of the raid combats at Capital, but I only met him for like a second. I didn't get to really sit and talk.
Such a great guy.
He's probably got tons of insight.
Yeah,
the most
absolutely.
quoted man in
Very
the world.
intellectual,
And
Yeah.
he's what, like a behavioral specialist, some shit like that?
Yes, yep, some stuff like that. He did work with the UN. He told me about he got like a lucky break with like some Dubai princes or something like that. Crazy shit. Yeah, no, he's a cool dude.
He's a G.
He was in the army and shit.
No
yeah.
way, was he?
Yeah, bro.
I had no
he's a
idea about
veteran,
that.
Yeah,
Get the fuck out.
yeah. He's done it all. He's done
And
it all.
he's Ray Longo's co-host on MMA and Beyond.
Yeah.
And you would never
It's
know
Ray's
Wow.
podcast.
any of this shit from listening to it. You'd never know that he's like a fucking behavior specialist. Like,
Yeah.
he's super calm and laid back and chill. Like, he's not overbearing in the conversation. He never
Right.
like
At all.
imposes his will.
That's awesome.
Super good dude.
So for people that don't know, before my fights, Mike is like my silver bullet. He's my secret weapon.
You guys are
Before
crazy.
my fights, right before I walk down, this is like something only very, 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 very few people know. Not even people on the team know. This is only people like that are actually there know, my family and you guys. Before my fights, before I go down to fight, to actually get in the cage, Mike comes into the room and we all huddle in a circle. My family, Mike, our good friend Rich and John, and whoever else is there in the room, we huddle up in a circle. And Mike, for maybe 10 minutes, says a prayer. And before the prayer, I'm all nervous, jittery, anxious, overwhelmed with, just emotions. And then once Mike finishes speaking and his prayer and doing his thing, I feel like I could take on take on a gorilla in the cage.
That's what I wanted to actually bring up too. Is
Yep.
I want to introduce Mike as like another part of our team circle that.
Yeah, absolutely.
We have like this tight knit core where it's just like Mike's our fucking spiritual guidance.
Yeah.
You really fucking are.
You're the angel on the shoulder.
Really
You guys are too much. You really are. Let me tell you something. When I firmly believe in what would be called divine appointments. Okay, divine appointments, like times where God brings certain people together, almost like for such a time as this moment, He brings certain people together to perform a certain task. And I'm convinced that that is what we have here with you guys. I remember the first time, not to go away from the, with the fight and praying for you, because I do want to touch on that, but I remember the first time Dennis ever walked in church. I was speaking. And I remember the moment he walked in and sat down, I looked at him as I'm speaking, in the middle of my message, and I just said to myself, like, I love this kid. I didn't know why, but I knew that I loved you. Immediately, really? I was like, I love this kid. And then when I talked to you after, and then I remember my mom was like, oh, he's a fighter, so what's up with you? You guys get along great. And then we started talking, I was like, I love this kid. Coincidentally, I remember the first time I met you, John.
Fucking Dunkin' Donuts parking lot.
So I was at Rich's house in New Jersey, and you texted me like, yo, I'm going to meet John. And Dennis was talking about you, until Kingdom Come one day. He was like, you got to meet my boy John, you got to meet John, you got to meet John. I was like, all right, bet. So he was like, listen, we're going to be at the Dunkin' Donuts on South Avenue or whatnot.
You came from Jersey that night?
So I came from Jersey, came right to you guys, and I remember I met you, and immediately we started talking. The same exact feeling that I got when I saw Dennis. As soon as I saw you, I was like, I love this kid. Wow. I don't know why, but the truth of the matter.
I'm gonna cry.
Shut up.
But the truth of
the
truth of the matter is that I never feel like that. In fact, I'm always very skeptical of people. Not that I'm not loving, not that I'm not personable, not that I want to get to know people. I think that's what the kingdom of God is all about. But there are divine appointments. God brings certain people together at a certain time that they develop a certain bond. Chemistry is like that.
You hear this shit?
We have that.
See why he's the best speaker?
No, but it's the truth. We have that, and I don't have that with every. Honestly, I don't have that with every.
No, it was me. It really was me.
No, absolutely.
Because I walked away from that conversation saying, "Wow, like, all right, that's another one of us. This is our tribe.
100%.
Tribe.
100%.
I say that all the time. Like you know when you meet people, you really do. You know that chemistry right off the bat. Like you can see it in people's eyes too. Like if they've been through shit. You know what I mean?
Right.
And like, because me and Dennis talked about that too, where there's people that are around us and. Like we think about being in certain situations with them, and it's like that if shit goes down, they're not there.
Right?
No,
no. You know what I mean? Even if they're not capable of doing something, or it's just a matter, that they're not going to be there. You know what I mean? It's fucked up.
I told this to my wife, not to cut you off. I'm not even kidding.
No.
But I told her I'm going to do the podcast with John and Dennis. Somehow we got into the conversation about like our relationship, and I told her, I said, Gob, how many friends do I have? I mean, a ton of people that I know, acquaintances, friends, people I consider close. I'm telling you right now, if something ever went down, I have a list, a very, very short list of people that I know that if I called, they would be there for me in a heartbeat. They would drop everything that they're doing and come, and you guys are on that list. You guys are on that list.
Absolutely true.
And I know you the least amount of everybody that I could put on that list, and I know that you guys would be there.
That's another thing I preach all the time is that, like, it doesn't matter how long you know someone. Like, I know people for fucking 20 years that I don't have any relationship with at all anymore, that I wouldn't give two fucks if they were on fire in front of me in the street. I genuinely wouldn't. I really wouldn't. I really wouldn't care at all. It's because, like, you grow up with people and you're with them because of convenience. You know what I mean? Like, you go to school with them, or they live on your block, or they're your mom's friend's fucking kid. But when you meet people when you're older, that's when you really develop a relationship.
Yeah, 100%.
So, now this is another crazy story. Talking about the divine appointment thing you were saying. I think this is really amazing. I used to always think church was stupid. Never wanted to go. I believed in it. Believed in like God and Jesus, but I never believed in like church. Never cared to go. So I think it was 2 years ago, maybe. Yeah, I think it was about last summer, I believe. Chris Weidman at the gym. We had a barbecue. It was a gym barbecue, and Chris Weidman's dad was there, Charlie, who's a great guy. Like, I just want to say, like, real quick, Chris and his dad Charlie and the whole family, the Weidman family, I love them so much. They're such amazing people. So back to the story. I was talking to Chris Weidman's dad, and he asked, I don't know how it came up, but we started talking about church, and turns out he's a born again Christian.
Is he really?
He is. And I told him how I didn't really believe in going to church and stuff, this and that. And he said, that's nice and all, but he said, when you go to church, you pick up certain things. He said, you missing church and not going, you lose value in certain things, meaning like you don't learn certain things that you should be learning. So we had that little conversation, and I kept that in the back of my head. So, and my mom would always wake me up every Sunday, Dennis, please come. I'm like, leave me alone, I don't want to go. I'm sleeping, like, don't bother me.
Tell me his mom is not an angel. Angel
What's
on earth.
Come on, no. All my mom does is sing that lady's
Really?
She loves her.
I'm sorry, continue.
No, thank you. Thank you for that. So one morning, she wakes me up. For whatever reason, I'm like, you know what? Let me go to church today. And then, in the back of my head, I had what Weidman's dad said to me. So I'm like, let me go to church today. I go, and at the time, Mike, you were only speaking once a month, right?
Mm-hmm.
Once a month, Mike speaks. And then this day, for whatever reason, something in my head told me, go today. I go, I sit down, I'm in there. The people, it's like a concert in there, bro. He has like the people playing pianos and violins and singing, and he's playing the guitar, Mike's playing the guitar. And then I remember Mike speaking, and the music's playing, and something just came over me, and I start fucking hysterical crying.
Fucking Lord, son.
Yo, bro, overtook me. No pedophilia shit just came on to me. Yo, I'm just fucking. I love it. The spirit, like, something came over me, bro, and I'm just sitting there, my head's down in between my hands, and there's a fucking puddle on the floor in the middle of church, bro. I'm just hysterical crying. I'm like covered in goosebumps. Amazing. Just chills all through my body. I'm like, what is going on right now? Mike's voice is just powerful, and the music's playing. I went like numb, but I was still like electrified at the same time, just crying. There's literally a puddle on the floor. Like, I just finished fucking training, and I was just sitting there for like a minute, you know, just all the sweat.
Fucking tears and snot bubbles
and
fucking.
And then I'm like, ever since that day, I'm like, I made it an effort to go every single Sunday, but it's always when Mike talks and I know he's speaking and preaching,
you're there.
I'm there, always.
I love how the Catholic Church is such a piece of shit that you have to clarify that in not a pedophilia kind of way.
No.
He's of age and was of age at the time. But he had to clear up that Mike didn't come and fucking touch him, and that's why he was crying or anything like that.
No, I meant like the spirit of Jesus came on to me.
The spirit didn't do anything funny.
Came on to me, but not in a pedophilic way. Yeah, it was more like of an embracing and loving kind, right, Mike?
Yeah, no, 100%. Listen,
Go.
I just wanted to say, like, there is, for anybody listening to this, there is nothing special about me. I just I just want to clarify this. Like, I am as broken and as twisted as anybody out there. I am just a broken vessel that makes himself available for God to work through.
So explain what you've done, so people, because I feel like that's another thing, because you're not like fucking goody two shoes, you know. You've done bad shit.
Well, that's what I want to clarify too, though. This isn't a Catholic church. This isn't a Catholic, Roman Catholic typical church, right? No. It's a Christian church.
No, it's a Christian church. So just to give you guys a little bit of background, so my mom is the pastor. She's the lead pastor. She runs the church. My mom was not always a Christian. In fact, my mom was a Christian before she had me, and then she went into what would be called a backslidden state. Okay, she fell away from the faith. My mom at the time was dating my dad, who's Joey Testa, who was in the mafia. You know, you can look him up. He was part of the murder machine. Like, the guy, he was
good.
Yeah, he was just he's a bad dude.
Right.
And my mom got pregnant at a wedlock, and at the time that my mom got pregnant, my dad was on trial, and they knew he was. Listen, you're going to jail. Like, they knew. Yeah, it was rough. And they weren't married, so when he went away, my mom did not get a lot of money from the state, and all the money went toward lawyers, because the lawyer always beat the cases, so they figured they were going to get out. Make a long story short, he doesn't get out, and now you got this 30-year-old woman who has me in her stomach, and dad's in jail, going to be in jail probably the next, till he dies. And before you know it, she starts going back to church, starts getting discipled, completely rededicates her life to Christ. Let me just tell you something, just so you know. My mom She's a maniac. Let me tell you something. My mom has not been with another man. My mom has not had a single sexual experience and a single physical experience with another man since my dad.
Wow.
So she has literally devoted herself to the gospel and to ministry and to raising me.
Right.
And she never wanted to have other men around me, so she just completely focused on me, always kept me around my grandparents, around her brother, so on and so forth. And as I got older, I would say probably like when I was in high school was when I started to develop like all these like weird emotional quirks. I guess all of like the pain from the past of growing up with no dad and growing up with all these issues. I guess when you grow up, like you're missing a parent, you develop like insecurities, you lack confidence, and then I think like my dad was this murderer. He was in the mafia. Like, is that who I am inside? I have a temper problem, and I just started lashing out.
And you
all
didn't
these,
know him.
No, I didn't know him.
So that's-
we just spoke on the phone. That's
Right.
it. So it was like I couldn't really understand what was going on internally. And I developed all of these like weird emotional problems and things like that. And I remember like going to my mom and being like, "Mom, I'm going to kill myself. Like I'm losing my mind right now." And my mom was always like, "Michael, this is not a place of destruction. This is a place of healing. Like this is where like the Jesus that I know, the God that I know, this is where he's going to make himself real to you." And from that moment on, I went through this period, this process. It took years where I was living in the world. I was not living like a Christian. I was, doing everything that anybody would do. Drinking, drugging, having sex.
Mm-hmm.
But I always had this, deep down, this conviction. Like, I knew that I was doing the wrong thing. Like,
Right.
I knew it wasn't right. I always had, like, this tug on me. And it was probably my mom's prayers, the woman just praying like a maniac for me my entire life. And slowly but surely, my mom started a church. I wasn't going to the church. And then I remember one day I decided to go. I was like, all right, I gotta get back in shape. Because my mom told me, she was like, if you keep living the way that you're living, she's like, I'm kicking you out of the house.
Really?
And she was like, I cannot have you desecrating my house and doing the things that you're doing, living like this. If I have to let you go, I have to let you go. Until this day, she'll say it was the toughest thing she ever had to say to me.
Of course.
Wow.
But I knew that she was dead serious. And I said, you know what? Let me follow through with this. Went to church. And slowly but surely, here we are today.
That's
Just
all
never
she
looked
wrote.
back, that was it.
That was it.
So from that first day, that was where you had like your essential epiphany, and then
Yeah, and I would say it was a slow embrace back. It was
Right.
a slow walk back, and like slowly but surely, I started cutting off like relationships that I had with people who I love that I would take a bullet for today. I just had to be away from. Bad company corrupts good character.
right.
And at the time, my character wasn't in a place where I could be around those people and influence them.
Right.
They were only influencing me. Now I could go be around them and I'm the influencer. But at that time, I wasn't the atmosphere changer. The atmosphere would change me. So I unfortunately had to cut them off. Some of them I don't talk to now, and they never got over that, but some of them I still do, and God is good. I'm just happy I'm alive.
That's really what it fucking comes down to, is that you had that moment. You had that moment where you turned around and you walked into that church, and that was what hit you, especially the influence from your mom and everything, and the serious threat of like, listen, you're going to be on the fucking street if you don't turn around and do this. And I went through very, very, very similar things. Like, my mom was never with another man after her and my father
Really?
got divorced. Yeah, that was it.
So you guys have pretty similar.
Yeah.
Very similar
I didn't know
stories.
that.
Yeah.
Wow.
She didn't date. She didn't nothing. She didn't want. All she wanted to do was focus on raising me and my brother. That was it. Like, that's
Wow.
all she gave a fuck about.
God bless her.
So does your family go to church at all, John?
My mother. I used to go every Sunday. I used to
Really?
go to, yeah,
Catholic
literally
church?
Catholic church.
Okay.
And my mother did too. And she was always very, very religious. But church actually gave her a lot of problems after she got divorced.
Of course.
Because it's looked down upon.
Really?
Yeah. Especially
know
Catholic
about this
church.
shit.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's what she grew up in, coming from, a typical Italian family. She grew up with a fucking Catholic background, and that's what it was. So, that was, she didn't look for other options at that point. She didn't say, oh, maybe I can go find a Christian church, where they might, she was just like, all right, I'm fucking disenfranchised with this at this point, so.
So what started your skepticism with religion or God or Jesus, whatever you want to call it?
I don't even know if I would call it skepticism, because it's not necessarily against religion at all.
So do you believe then?
Believe in what necessarily?
See, now this is where Mike has to come in. What's the right thing to say?
Because I wouldn't identify as an agnostic either. An agnostic, they usually say, oh, I believe in something, just not whatever. So I don't know. I don't want to define myself as anything. But my skepticism, for lack of a better word, started probably in fucking CCD, in Sunday school. going to school for my fucking sacraments and communion and
Yeah,
confirmation.
they're the same shit.
Right. So I remember being like 6 or 7 years old and coming home and wanting to read the Bible and being like, the story of Samson, like this dude stopped being strong after they cut his hair. Like, what the fuck? How does that make sense? I remember being little. I was like this about everything. Everything. Like, my mother will tell you the weirdest fucking stories about me just always deconstructing things. Like,
I love it.
I'm an overthinker, like, but not in a worrying sense or anything like that. But I'm always
question.
Yeah, I'm always trying to see like different angles on everything. And I'm always trying to put myself in those shoes and this shoes and trying to see where the fuck my hole is or anything like, you know what I mean? So I was like that from a young age. I was always just why and just because wasn't good enough. Like if I asked my mother why is the sky blue and she was like, oh, because it's fucking blah blah blah, I'd be like, nah, that's not good enough.
No,
I need better than that.
Yeah.
So that's where it really came from. And then I guess it was just over time, just a matter of exposure to other things. And I felt like myself, I felt like I was being hypocritical because if I would learn about a certain topic in, let's say, human history, then I would look and I'd be like, but that doesn't make sense with this. You know what I mean? So it's not religion that I have a problem with. It's any system of belief, for me, makes it very hard because I feel like if I adhere to any type of belief system, whether it's a religion or fucking astrology or anything, fucking paganism, worshiping fucking trees and shit, I feel like if I adhere to any of those, then anything that I see has to essentially fit into that view. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I feel like I'll be looking at the world through those lenses.
So it has to be through your perspective and your point of view for you to
I
believe.
want my perspective to be completely open.
Okay.
Because my answer to everything is, I don't know.
Right.
You know, and it's not indecision, it's coming from me literally not knowing. Like, I don't know. There's nothing, like, I've never had an experience where I could say, oh shit, that's, you know, like, that was the voice of God, or that was the devil talking to me, or fucking Zeus, or...
So how about, you said you don't remember any experiences, so when we huddle up and pray, what happens to you? How do you feel when we pray? Remember we had this conversation?
It is the most intense feeling. Alright, so I took a video of the
right.
last time Mike prayed in the hotel room before you walked down for your last fight.
I remember that.
And I didn't tell anybody either. I set the video up on the windowsill and tried to aim it so I can get everybody in it. And it was a little skewed, but... And your brother was the only one that fucking saw it.
Yeah,
like,
sneaky
shit.
little punk.
He catches everything.
Yeah,
he
he's
gets.
like the best.
So he keeps running in front of it. He puts like the fight card thing up in front, like a little jerk. So Mike's praying over Dennis, and your mom is in the middle of it, and she's saying praise Jesus, and she's holding onto your hands, and I'm sweating, I'm holding back tears in this fucking room.
I'm about to cry right now.
It's intense. It's the most intense experience I've ever had in my life. Because first, he didn't just pray over you. First, he said a story. I think it was about David.
David and Goliath, yeah.
So then, after he kind of gives the speech, then we huddle up. So now I'm with people that I love in ways that I can't put into fucking words. Your family is my family. I mean that from the depths of my heart. I would fucking die in a heartbeat for your family. I don't mean jump. I mean, I would literally just die. But if I had to die to help your family, I would just die.
Stop.
No, I'm serious. I mean, and you know that I've developed that relationship with them. You know what I mean? And so I'm sitting here now, after the last 24 hours, being a nightmare with you.
Yep.
Cutting the weight.
I'm the worst.
It's not even your mood. It's I'm watching you dehydrate yourself, and there's nothing that's safe about it. Like that's one of the most dangerous fucking things you could do, especially in MMA. By the end of it, he comes out of the fucking sauna, and he's got no voice.
Right.
He's just talking like he's got no voice left. We got 1 pound to cut in fucking 15 minutes. We're late to the weigh-ins. It was just, dude, it's a nightmare.
Stress.
You know, it was hours.
Very stressful. Yeah.
And I was the only one there. Me and Jenny. And Jenny couldn't come into the male locker room. She's a female, obviously.
Right.
So she's sitting in the gym on a couch for hours, and I'm running back and forth telling her how everything's going with Dennis and the other fighter, Ed, that was there. And it was fucking horrible. So to have this moment after the waiting game of a few hours of, alright, it's fight time soon, it's the most intense thing in the world, and you're a piece of shit if you could sit there in the room and deny that there's faith and love and whatever God is in that fucking room.
Yeah, 100%.
It's in the room.
You can feel it. It's tangible.
I wish that there was a camera on me and you walking down to the arena after that.
I was just ready to walk through fire.
Because now we had to walk down from the hotel room, down through the casino, up into the arena, and I'm carrying all of his shit, his bags. I got his fucking banner around my neck, but I felt like I was walking on air. It felt like we were ready to go to battle.
Ready to war. Ready for war.
Just
literally.
drums, just war drums. We were just bulletproof.
I'm getting goosebumps all over right now.
Nothing could fucking touch us. I wish that there was a camera just on us walking down.
I'll never forget that. I just want to say two things real quick about that moment when we were praying, especially in the hotel room that day. Point number one, that does not always happen. No, I want to be very clear about this. I've prayed for countless people on the street, people in church, and anywhere, people in the gym. I am convinced that when the tangible presence of God comes into a room like that, I mean, he does it at his will. I can't bring it. It's God who brings the increase. I'm convinced that the reason why he does it is because he knows that there's openness there. He knows that if I bring my presence into this place, there are people here that can receive it. And everybody in that room, including your dad, everybody was like a sponge. When I was speaking to you, I was feeling what I call it the Holy Spirit, like the presence of the I felt it rising up in me. I was ready to just start like, I felt like I had it like fire that I could like shoot out of my hands. It was ridiculous. But God doesn't always do that. I am telling you that tangible presence is because everybody in that room was ready for something. They were waiting for something. They wanted something to happen. If you read the New Testament, if you read the book of Acts, this is like the first century church, how it started. So after Jesus had already ascended, they're waiting in the upper room because Jesus had promised the disciples that the Holy Spirit was going to come and he was going to fill them and he was going to fuel them essentially to build the first century church. The Bible uses a term for power in the Greek. The Greek word is dunamis, okay? It means power. And it's used 9 times in the book of Acts. 8 of the 9 times it's in reference to working miracles, but there is one time that it's used for preaching and for speaking powerfully, that you will be able to speak with dunamis power. I forgot exactly what the passage is, but I think it's like Peter spoke with dunamis, like he spoke with power. So the Holy Spirit gives you the ability to speak with power, but it's from God. And that was what happened that day. I was speaking and the Holy Spirit showed up. So what you were feeling was the dunamis from God. You speak all the time. You speak to people all the time. You speak to them about God all the time. That does not always happen.
Right, but you don't feel it.
No.
You know, it's you don't feel that. And to go back to your question, what would I call that? I don't know. You know what I mean? Like to me, that's not a definitive proof of something for me to believe in. As far as okay, now I'm a Christian, because if let's say you were speaking words of a fucking pagan, that energy still might be in the room because it's channeling whatever the fuck is running the universe or whatever the universe is.
You think even if it was pagan shit, it would still be there?
I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know. And I'm not saying that it makes it less spiritual. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like but it's there. Whatever the fuck you're talking about, it's there.
Right, it's a verifiable experience for you.
And just like he explained about us being sponges in the room, I was a sponge as well. You know what I mean? Like I'm not. And you know, I've been around you guys talking. How many times have I ever been disrespectful towards faith?
Never.
You know what I mean? It's not like I downplay anyone's faith or anything like that. Because I don't. I wrote a blog the night before the first fight I ever went to of his. Because he was talking about the Holy Spirit and all the shit and faith, and it was the first time I saw someone use faith and religion in a way that was genuinely empowering.
Right.
It was this extra.
I read that. I remember you said that.
Thank you. It was this extra gear that you had going into a fight, knowing that if your body breaks, if your mind breaks, you're under that fucking protection. You know what I mean? Like it was a genuine thing that I saw pushed him forward, empowered him, made him a better person, made him a better fighter. So I was like, holy shit. You know, like it was, because usually you just hear the typical religious debates where it's just, and I don't even attribute this to religion, I just attribute it to people's ignorance in general. Of just, oh yeah, God is this, God is that, and I believe in blah, 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 and anything else is wrong. If you believe in this, you're a dick. If you believe in that, you're a dick. Right. That's what I'm used to. So I was taken aback by it. Then when I met you, it was just like, holy shit. Because you have plans to start your own church, right?
I would like to. I don't really know what's going to happen. Right. I don't know. Maybe I'll probably want to take it over. I know my mom will probably want to take it over my mom's church at some point. Or maybe I'll start my own. I don't know. I guess see what happens.
And I've said countless times, I will do anything in the world to help you achieve that. You know what I mean? Anything.
I find that so incredible. That, I mean, whatever you're a skeptic, however you would define yourself, it's just like he's so on board. It's amazing.
Yeah,
it's like
crazy.
there's pastors who would kill to have him in their church.
Just 100%, like literally anything that you, because I believe in what you're trying to do. I believe that you're genuinely trying to spread a message of love and peace and acceptance and empowering and bettering yourself. So I don't give a fuck what banner it's under. I think it'll genuinely help. I mean, it's helped me. It's helped me since we've been friends. And it's not that I need to believe in this or that. It's that you fucking genuinely make a difference in people's lives. You are an influencer. You are. And nobody's going to listen to this and be like, oh shit, Mike's not the best speaker that they know. He is.
Yeah.
I mean,
and if you're not, you're definitely up there with one of the best.
Dude,
fuck yeah.
Undeniably.
I appreciate it, guys. I mean, I really don't think I'm that good, but I do appreciate you. If you guys say it, I appreciate it. It's definitely...
You're our best guest. Our only guest. Our best guest.
Right, yeah. Like, you guys set the bar real hard for me. But I just want to say that, you know, going back to what you were saying, what I try to do, whatever it is that you're attracted to, is straight Jesus. I'm dead serious. Like, this is straight New Testament. You read the New Testament, you read the life of Christ, you read what he did, you read what the disciples did, you read how they built the first century church. Bro, it's straight up Jesus. Like, this is straight up Bible. Like, it's straight up Jesus. So I'm not saying that one single experience or whatever it is that you go through, with, whether it's the hotel room or with praying over somebody on the street, whatever it is, I'm not saying that that's enough to convert somebody and make them go to the cross. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm just letting you know that whatever it is that you're attracted to, it is the man Christ Jesus.
And it very white, Jesus Christ, very well might be. Holy shit. It might be that. And I can't say that in fucking 5 weeks or 5 years I won't be like, oh shit, you know, I'm a Bible thumping Jesus guy now. Like I might. Right. I don't know what's gonna happen. I might have a fucking kid in 15 years and that change everything. You know, or someone might die that's really close to me and might change that. Like I don't know. You know what I mean? It goes back to the I don't know attitude that I have. It's just I don't know. I want to be open to everything. It's not open to faith. It's just learning anything, because I'm constantly looking for ways to make myself not suck. You know what I mean? I'm perpetual fuck up. So it's like as much as I could learn, and I just want to be open to everything.
So I remember you were saying, we were having this conversation about DMT,
right?
Possibly being like, and I hear a lot of people like little DMT stories on like Rogan or even on YouTube and stuff. Everyone, or mostly everyone, has the same experience where they see this goddess,
right,
who she claims to be God. And I remember you were saying, maybe what if this is like the portal or the gateway to God?
Me and Mike had this conversation the other night.
Right. So, but isn't that really maybe like a deception, a lie, Mike? What do you think?
That's exactly what Mike said to me. He said, what if that was the devil's way of getting you to, even though you became a better person out of it and thought differently out of it, what if that was his way of getting you to denounce Christ? I said, shit, it's a crazy fucking way to look at it, because if you go by the Bible's idea of the devil, like, he'll take any win that he can get, right? Like, you know, Lucifer, Satan, whoever the fuck he is, will take any win he can against. But at the same time, and I thought about the question afterwards, it didn't make me denounce anything. You know what I mean? Like, it didn't make me say, oh, the church or Bible or Jesus didn't exist. It just made me feel connected to whatever it is. And whatever that is very well could be the Christian God. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't mean that it's not.
See, going back to that conversation that we had, I think, and this is a purely philosophical. I'll go philosophical first and then theological.
Right.
On a purely philosophical level, I can't help but feel that is like a very, and I'm not trying to be offensive to anybody who's listening, or to you, or anybody, you know, their opinion on it. I just cannot help but feel that is a very, very artificial or a superficial form of spirituality. That it makes an experience with the Creator reliant on an outside source. That would be my philosophical excerpt. The theological side of it is this is strikingly similar to what we see in Genesis 3 in the Garden of Eden. The serpent comes to Eve and he tells her, eat the fruit. And Eve's like, well, we're not supposed to. And the serpent tells her, well, if you eat this, you could be just like God. You could be just like him. Like this is the key. Eat this fruit. You'll be just like God. Like you want to have an experience, eat the fruit. And that was the deception. Meanwhile, he was telling you could be just like God. Meanwhile, they were already like God. They were already created in his image. And to me, when it comes to these drugs, or what the Bible will call pharmacopoeia and so on and so forth, these to me are just very, very superficial forms of spirituality that the enemy uses as distractions to bait people in. He's been doing it all the way back since the garden.
But then on the philosophical side, if you say an outside source to bring God, like DMT is literally produced by your body, and if we were created in God's image, it's already all in us. So why wouldn't he put a key inside of us to talk to him if DMT is already produced by the body?
But it's already in there, so still it would make it dependent on the outside source. You get what I'm saying? You're still taking something to produce the effect of spirituality. And I don't think you need to do that.
Yeah, but you're only activating something that's already inside of you.
But you have to take something in order to activate it. Like you have to take this physical thing.
Right, because we don't have control over pumping it out ourselves.
Like this idea that in order to have this supernatural, this metaphysical experience, or I guess you could call it, I have to take this physical substance. It's very, very strange.
Isn't that similar to like communion in the Catholic Church?
Well, communion in the Catholic Church, communion in the Catholic Church is much different than communion in the Christian. They actually think that when you eat the bread, it turns into the physical body of Jesus.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Don't think that that's true.
Yeah, right, that's what I'm saying.
I think we just do that as symbolism. Like Jesus said, do this in remembrance of me, in remembrance of the sacrifice. Right. But I don't think there's any.
It's ritual.
I don't think there's any like supernatural.
That's not really the right.
Yeah, that doesn't give you this experience when it's altering your consciousness.
Yeah.
But I mean, obviously, from the theological end of it, I think that the Bible would prohibit the use of these like intoxicating drugs and so on and so forth. But I mean, I guess for me, from the Christian perspective, I always felt that I guess spirituality to me was never like a mystical thing. Like this idea of spirituality. And having these experiences and like floating out there somewhere into the ether, like it was never like that. It was always this very, very real, sobering experience that I had with God in reality, and it was personal. It was this personal relationship, this personal experience that I had with God. That was the transforming factor.
Almost like it comes from within you.
Yeah.
Like a God is in you type of situation.
To some degree, yeah, I guess you could say that to some degree. Like I guess accepting Christ and allowing the Holy Spirit to have its work in me would be what I would call living a Spirit-filled life.
And now, like with the philosophical debate again, now the problem I would have with religion here, and this isn't I'm saying with you at all, is now look at like Native American history and culture. They always engaged in rituals where whether they were smoking marijuana or doing peyote in these religious rituals, believing in whatever gods they believed in. So now, are they bad? Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is where religion would come into and play. Like, that's the devil's fucking... Like, why? Why does someone else's connection to whatever they believe in mean that it's bad? You know, so that's where I have a problem with religion itself. Is no, we have the answers.
What do you say about that?
Right. Well, I think,
same question.
I think, and this goes back to the conversation that we had when we were in the car. I think that truth, by definition, comes with restrictions. And the example that I used is like, I'm Caucasian. Like, I can't be African American by labor of truth. I just can't be. So by definition, it comes with restrictions. And I guess at the end of the day, I guess you will have to choose what your objective standard is going to be. Or the lens that you see life through, what the worldview is going to be, what your worldview is going to be. I guess you're going to wind up having to have to make that decision. Like, I would obviously say, like, I don't think that you should be getting intoxicated, like you should be getting stoned off your face and having these experiences, so to speak, with God. Now, the reason why I would say that is, I mean, one, on a personal level, I just don't like being stoned. I hate that feeling. Right. Number one. But number two is that the Bible says don't do it. I think that is the absolute moral objective standard for all morality. I think that God is the supreme arbiter of morality, and he displayed himself in Jesus, and that's the objective standard that I live by. But I don't have any hard argument against it, other than I hold to a Christian worldview.
Well, forget getting intoxicated. Just they're like a Native American's religious. I don't even know what the fuck they believe in, honestly. But their beliefs, they feel the exact same way that you do about that connection, and that peace, and that love, and all those things. So I find a hard time being part of one and discounting someone else's faith. You know what I mean? Like, there's no saying that they
like
don't feel
like the big three, pretty much: Muslims, Christians, and
it's
Jews.
like my attitude is fuck them, but it's fuck all of it, and it's not something that I have against faith or God. It's against the infrastructure of religion itself, where a lot of it's become a money making process. And I'm not saying your church or anything like that, but the Catholic Church is
100%, yeah,
horrendous. It's fucking disgusting.
No, people suck.
And I can't shit on anything else, honestly, because I was raised Catholic. Like, you know, I mean, that's what I know. So I know enough about it to be like, fuck these guys. I mean, two priests from the church that I grew up in were fucking pedophiles.
Get out of here.
Yeah, like they would just release his names as fucking pedophiles that were moved around to other churches.
Let's go fuck them up.
These people.
You know what I mean? So it's
Where they at?
I'm fucking.
I'm gonna hunt them down.
I'm with it.
Fucked. I'm castrating them, bro.
John Wick style.
John fucking Wick.
You know, with when it comes to religion, I always held to the, you know, Anselm. He was a mid-century Christian philosopher, and he always defined God as this: the greatest conceivable being imaginable. The greatest conceivable being imaginable. And you know, you mentioned the big three. You know, like Judaism, Christianity, Islam. I always held to, well, what religion or what worldview? I hate calling them religions, but what worldview defines God as the greatest conceivable being imaginable? Which one comes the closest? By inference of the best explanation, I think it's hands down Christianity.
Can you explain for people that wouldn't understand?
I think that when you think about God being the greatest conceivable being imaginable, how could you define the greatest conceivable being imaginable? Well, it would obviously have to be a being that's all loving, that's holy, but is perfectly just, omnipotent, omniscient, omnipresent, right? And I think Christianity defines all of that the best out of all of the world religions. And I think that it explains it in the most suitable way.
So how about like Islam, for example? Maybe their argument would be, our God is a man, half man. So how can God be man and still be God?
Well, I don't know exactly how they would they define their God as a man? Would they say that God is a man?
They would, for Christians to say that our God is a man.
I think God is male in his description in the scripture.
I'm saying like in regards to Jesus.
Oh, well, Jesus is definitely a male.
Right, but I'm saying like as you picture God as something unimaginable that you can't put a face to it, but then Christians say Jesus is God, right?
Yeah.
So then wouldn't like Muslims argue that for us?
Well,
for
Muslims don't believe that Jesus was God. They believe that he was a prophet. He was a prophet of Allah. Well, first of all, just to say, I could never be a Muslim based purely on the fact, and this is no disrespect to Islam.
Bacon.
What?
Bacon.
Yeah, right. That alone, especially on like a ketogenic diet, like all you eat is bacon. No, but I could never be a Muslim simply on the historicity regarding Jesus. They don't believe that Jesus was ever crucified.
Okay.
I have a very, very hard time with that. Every single authority, historical authority, whether it's New Testament scholarship, Greco-Roman scholarship, whatever it is, everybody believes. Whether you believe that Jesus was God in the flesh, whether you believe that he was a prophet, or maybe you just believe he was a really wise dude, or maybe you just believe he was a carpenter. I mean, everybody agrees that the man lived and died on a cross.
Okay.
And Muslims refuse to say that he died on the cross.
And see where my brain kicks in and goes, the greatest conceivable being ever, and I'm sitting here thinking, you know, we're in God's images and this and that and people and blah blah blah. Did you ever see what a fucking nebula looks like?
A nebula?
Dude, that's way better than us. That's way fucking better than us.
Yeah, but can that make a fucking cell phone in your hand to look at itself?
I don't know.
No,
maybe.
I think we're better, bro.
That's like a dolphin. A dolphin's kind of smarter than us, but they don't need to fucking.
They're pretty smart.
They don't need to have cell phones because they live in 3 dimensions where we don't.
You know what's incredible though is just the unbelievable complexity of the human body. It's like
We just regenerate ourselves.
It's
Yeah.
an
Like-
insane machine.
and this is like goes back almost like the teleological argument for God's existence, which is like the argument from fine tuning, like how the universe is just and the Earth is just ironically just fine tuned,
Perfectly balanced.
perfectly for intelligent life like us. It's just incredible.
So that brings me back to one question actually I got.
Fuck you.
Let me pull it up. Fuck him?
No, fuck you.
Fuck
Just for no reason.
You know,
Yeah.
just you.
Just
Fuck
none.
him. Fuck Dennis.
Wait, wait. I'm proud of you. You were fucking on time tonight.
I was like 20 minutes late, bro.
We were in a group text, and Mike pulls up. He's right on time. Dennis says, "I'm on my way." As Mike's pulling up, I'm like, "Oh, good."
Just left my house.
So I write in the group text, "Oh, we're really recording at 9:30 because we're moving on quote unquote Dennis time." Then we get a text, "John, do you got a watermelon?" And as Mike's reading it, reading why, I'm going, "Oh, he wants to crush it in his fucking arms." And he goes, "I want to crush it in my big, strong Albanian arms and put it on."
I'm reading it out loud.
Quit fucking Wyvern, bro. Crush
I
the
know.
watermelon. That
I
shit
know.
inspired me.
Savage.
He said that if you
Inspired
came
me.
here with a watermelon, he was like, I'm going to let Dennis sit there with the watermelon on
In
his
my
lap,
hand?
and
Yeah.
I'm not even going to address it on
Yeah, I was like, I'm not even gonna fucking acknowledge on camera or on microphone that you had a watermelon on your
Like the
lap.
elephant in the room.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
just not there.
just there when I didn't
It's
fucking
just
pay
a
attention to it. How many questions did you get?
I got a lot of
Did
questions.
you really?
I got a lot.
You want to hit all of them, or you want to pick some good
Nah, I
ones?
don't know about all of them. It's too much. We'll be here for like 4 hours. But one of them, because it kind of tied in with what Mike said, someone asked, and I'm not going to say their names because these are like personal
Right.
questions, I'm not getting into that. But someone said, if God is real, why did he make the universe so big, but just focus on Earth to have life? Now, I don't really know if just Earth has life. This is what the guy
That's
asked
opening
me.
such a giant fucking door.
That's
'Cause
what
now
I'm
it's-
saying. That's why I don't want to answer all the questions. Like,
Right.
it'll just
Now,
go down rabbit
now, is
holes.
it this person's belief that there's just life on this earth? You know what I
Right,
mean?
we
Like,
have no idea.
I-
Yeah.
Life, or he has to
Specify a little
specify
bit,
on that a little bit. Like, does he mean life or human life?
That's what I mean. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, because for all we fucking know, there could be sentient beings on other planets talking
Right.
to the exact same fucking God that we
Right.
do, talking in the exact same way
Right.
that one of us would talk to.
Right. And the vastness of the universe is just, you can't even wrap your head around it.
Right.
Like, it's just,
And-
ugh.
And that's why my answer to everything is I don't fucking know when it comes to what do you believe in, because I don't think in my short lifetime here, in the grand scheme of things, that I'm going to figure anything out. And that's where most people need comfort. And, that's why they never get out of their comfort zone. They need like answers. I don't want fucking answers to everything. Like I'm more comfortable being like I don't know about a lot of shit.
Right.
I'm more comfortable not having that security blanket and shit like that.
Well, maybe that's the point of God. I just thought of this right now. Because we can't understand it and wrap our heads around it and decide on a good answer, maybe that's why we were gifted with free will. To decide,
To
really. Even to decide, like, what he left us with, this is enough for me to believe that he exists and he gave us his free will. Am I right with that?
Yeah,
Mike?
I also I have a hard time when Christians speak. I mean, I could be off on this, and somebody will probably throw a theological stone at me, but when we speak in terms with absolute certainty, I mean, we have to avoid total disparity also, but when we speak in terms of absolute certainty, like, I believe Jesus is real. I believe that he was God in the flesh, and I firmly believe that he came and died for our sins and rose from the dead. But for all I know, they could find his body or something dates back to his remains. I don't know. But
He could have been a midget.
all right, like, but
It can be fucking.
yeah, but
it could be anything.
yeah, like my point is that, I mean, I firmly believe this, but there have been times in my life where my faith has been shaken, where I've been stirred, and there have been times where I felt absolutely certain, and there were other times where I was like, God, what's going on right now? How could this possibly be happening?
And that's where I have a problem with religion in general, or even fucking astrology, where it's like people tell you as if this is the fucking fact, the guarantee.
That
No, no.
annoys me.
One of the questions I got was, do I think Mercury retrograde is causing people's moods and cell phones? No,
No.
I don't.
No.
Do I know how Mercury retrograde works or anything like that? No, not at all. Not even a little bit. I've had it explained to me. I don't get it. I think that cosmic energy reaching all the way across the fucking universe to come to Earth and just tickle our balls a little bit is really, I mean, it's fucking ridiculous. It's not something I would pay attention to. I think our entire power system and infrastructure as a fucking humanity would be built around Mercury retrograde if that was the case, because we have nuclear reactors, missile sites, and shit. Like, if Mercury retrograde made Instagram and the nuclear reactor go on the fritz, we'd be in trouble. You know what I mean?
Right.
So no, I don't think Mercury retrograde is doing anything to anybody. Or Instagram.
I just wanted to go back to real quick what we were saying before. I think that scientifically speaking, I think we have better arguments for the existence of God as opposed to the non-existence of God. Now that doesn't take you right to Jesus. Mm-hmm. But as far as the existence of God and Jesus, going back to the Bible, I do believe that this is true. And we may never have all the answers, but I don't think that that's a reason to not take a stance on something. Like, I don't know if that's necessarily a reason to not take a stance, because we could, like, philosophically speaking, we could always kick the can down the road. Like, we'll never have all the answers.
Right.
You're never going to know.
It's not going to happen in our lifetime.
Is that a reason to not take a stance on something, though? Is the question I would ask you.
Which is a good question, because the stance that I take is supporting in the things that I do believe in. I believe in you. You know what I mean? Like, I believe in Dennis. So do I need to actually find a faith to believe in? Like, is it a necessity in my lifetime that I have to say, okay, this is the one, or I do believe in this, or I don't believe in anything? Like, do I need that? Do I really need that? Am I going to have to come to a crossroad where I have to decide? I don't think so. I mean, is it really going to make a difference? I don't think so. Because my stance is, I stand with what I believe. And I believe in you. You know what I mean?
But you are open.
100%.
You are open too. Yeah.
I'm not against anything, and that's the whole point. I'm not going to be against Christian faith. I'm not going to be against the Muslim faith. I'm not going to be against the fucking Native Americans. I'm not going to be against the Chinese.
So why won't you go to church on Sunday when Mike speaks?
I don't want to get up that early. It's
not even that early.
It's not even early. I wake up late.
What time is it?
Like 11:30. I get there.
I could do
Starts at 11.
I could do that.
You should come and you should bring your mom.
I could do that.
I think your mom would thoroughly enjoy it.
Oh, my mom would totally dig it.
Are you speaking this Sunday coming?
Totally
I am.
dig it.
Spoke today.
Then Sunday I'll do.
Yeah, definitely come. I spoke
Sunday
today.
I'll do.
I'm going to speak. Yeah, I think you'll totally enjoy it.
If they could hold down the fort with my grandmother, yeah.
Bring her too.
Nah, grandma can't even move, bro.
Alright.
She gotta move. It's reaching. I just saw fucking lightning.
Did you really?
Yeah, if we get rained out in the middle of this podcast, I'm gonna freak the fuck out.
Bro, did you see the fucking sky before?
It was crazy.
I'm like, yo, this is
beautiful.
This is meant to be right now.
Yeah, gayest
There's a
podcast
rainbow.
ever. We have fucking. We're gonna have a sunset.
I saw you
it
in
was
the Lowe's
literally-
parking lot.
It was
Yeah, ruined it with the low shot.
It was literally right over my head though. Like, it was only in that parking lot area where this fucking around it was a blue sky.
According to Rainbows, it's God telling him he's gay.
That's 2019, bro. What you got against that? The Christian church accepts homosexuality.
Do they?
Do they?
I don't fucking know. I'm asking you.
I don't think so.
They don't accept homos?
Well, I mean,
Is that the
You
right
can't
term?
be like homos. You jerk. Homosexuals.
Oh,
I don't.
My God.
The church should never reject homosexuals. They should accept everybody.
Right.
It's the sin that the church, I think, rejects.
Right.
Any sin in general.
And
period.
that's where I freak the fuck out about any type of religion being against this or being against that. It's like, I want to love and accept everybody equally.
Which you're supposed to.
You know, like, I hate everybody, but it's because they suck as people, not because, you know what I mean? It's not because what they fucking believe in. But I want to be able to be open to everybody's shit. And I also, like, I don't know anything about Buddhism. So I don't want to, if I talk to a fucking Dalai Lama, are they Buddhist? Yeah, right?
But they...
Dalai Lama?
Buddhism is like a form of atheism.
Is it?
Yeah, it's very, very interesting. They don't believe in an afterlife. It's a very, very interesting...
But is Dalai Lama Buddhist? This is how fucking dumb I am. Is he?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay,
absolutely.
so if I sat there, thank you.
We need Mike here, 'cause
If I sat there and I spoke to the Dalai Lama, like, I'd want to be listening to what he says and kind of learn off it and understand, not going with a skewed view. Because I'm an idiot. I also don't trust myself believing in something. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to go in there and be like, yeah, fuck you, Jesus is the man, bro. Like, you're rope stupid. I don't want to go in there and do that.
Why not?
It's me.
That's pretty mean. I got another question that says, or it's not really a question, but the unknown differences between Satan, Lucifer, and the devil. Mike, I think this is something for you to touch on. I don't really understand that.
I have to be honest with you. I don't really know. I mean, I guess that's like a theological question.
Mm-hmm.
The age-old view is that Satan, prior to being Satan, or the devil, those two are the same, was that he was an angel in heaven named Lucifer.
The bringer of light.
Yeah, who was like in charge of, I guess, the music in heaven. I guess that's
so.
This is like this age-old theory.
Was God's favorite angel. He was the prettiest.
Yeah, I don't know how true this actually is, though. I know there's very, very varying theories.
But the difference between, I think they're all the same essentially.
Yeah.
The devil, Satan, Lucifer, whatever it is.
So do you think it's an actual figure, or is it just like an entity
I don't think
of like evil?
Because I've read some gnarly shit actually about like how they refer to the Bible. They refer in the Bible to certain. I don't remember which one it was, Satan or Lucifer, where it wasn't referring to the devil. It was referring to an archangel or a fallen angel named Samael or some shit like that.
Yeah, I've heard all sorts.
You know what I mean? Like now
things.
you're getting into really obscure.
I've heard guys go back to the Hebrew, and you read in the actual Hebrew, what it really means is this. And I mean, I do believe that there is a devil. I do believe that there is like an objective evil.
Do you believe that the devil is like a fallen angel person? Not person, but like...
I'm kind of agnostic on that. I don't know if he's a fallen angel, if he's a created being. I guess I don't have a hard stance on it. I would side with the age-old theory that he's a fallen angel. I would say that. I think that God creates human beings and angels, at least at that point, when he was creating them with 100% libertarian freedom of the will, meaning that human beings, angels, at least at that point, had the ability to freely choose uncaused. And I think that Satan just chose the way that he did.
To go against God.
Yeah.
Was it out of jealousy of humans, right?
I think I think he just wanted God's seat at the throne. Like he wanted that power. Like I will rise myself up to be like God. Pride, essentially.
Pride.
Yeah.
Which is one of the 7 deadly sins.
I mean, all sins are deadly. I think. I don't know.
So what do you think? Remember that John Ramirez guy we watched? He was like one of the highest Satanists in fucking New York. He grew up in the Bronx. You think that shit is real? Witchcraft and hexes?
Fuck that guy. That guy was a lunatic.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, that guy was crazy.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, you sent me the video. I was like, what the fuck am I watching right now?
You think that's bullshit?
I don't know if I don't know if it's bullshit. I don't even know. I don't remember what the fuck it was really about. I just remember the guy being nuts and he said he was like killing people or some shit like that.
Yeah.
But then I look at like, you know how the new thing is the Illuminati and everybody's a devil worshiper and they're putting up all these signs like, dude, I've been into heavy metal my whole life. Like I've been listening to music where they,
So have I.
like, you know what I mean? Like they put devil imagery in everything.
Wait, so have you ever had sleep paralysis?
No, not once.
You've never had it?
No, at least not that I know of.
I had it last night.
Did you really?
I had it last night, and my brother-in-law had it last night too at the exact same time. They had the same symptoms too. It was the strangest thing.
Get the
That's
fuck!
crazy.
I called my mom, like all Italian boys do. I called my mom at 12:45. My wife's away with her sisters.
Ma!
Called my mom at 12:45 a.m. I picked up. I said, "Ma, I'm either getting the stomach flu or it's a demonic attack. I need you to pray. I need you to pray for me right now."
Either way, I'm gonna shit my pants.
Yep.
Start praying.
Start praying.
What the fuck? Wait. So what happened?
I went to sleep. I started getting these weird stomach pains, night sweats, and then I'm sleeping, and then I froze up in bed, couldn't move, but it felt like somebody would jolt me out of my sleep. Before it would happen, it felt like somebody was like going like this to me, and I would wake up, and I'm like, what the heck was that? Go back to sleep, have sleep paralysis, the same thing would happen again and again and again. And then I woke up, and I was like, what's going on right now? I'm sweating, I couldn't figure it out, I had these weird stomach cramps, it was very, very strange. And then I called my mom, I said, Ma, I need you gotta pray, something's wrong. Woke her up out of a dead sleep, man.
What? So do you believe sleep paralysis is demons attacking you, trying to possess you?
This is such a tricky question because they have so many scientific literature on the topic that it's really hard to say whether it's a supernatural thing or not. I mean, as a Christian, I do believe in the supernatural. I have to say that I've had experiences that just that felt like they were demonic, that it was not just a dream. I mean, when you wake up from anybody who has these experiences, they wake up and they feel different. Like you feel like you just experienced a traumatic event.
Right.
Not to mention that if you actually read some of these accounts that people have when they have sleep paralysis, they see the same thing.
Same thing.
And
right?
I've seen some of it. The thing that sits on your chest. Some guys have said that they felt like there was this little demon type of figure that sits on your chest. I've seen that and I felt that. And an old woman, they call her the old hag, quote unquote, an old lady that shows up in your sleep, that you see her during sleep paralysis and you can't move. And I've seen the figure of an old woman holding a cane. They're
Now,
very, very strange.
But do you think that could be like psychologically influenced? The way they say that like UFO abductors, they say the same thing where it's like they kind of report all the same things because they've been influenced.
Yeah, but how?
You know what I mean?
But someone who doesn't know anything about the topic, how would they see the same thing?
Because that's even questionable too. Like you ever have a dream and it feels super real, and then 10 minutes later you can't remember what the fuck it was at all.
But then
like,
everyone having the these are remembered forever. These sleep paralysis things. I remember having it as a kid.
Right, but memory is
shit.
questionable.
No, I remember it like it was.
You feel like you feel like you do.
I remember the exact. I remember it's traumatic, like Mike said.
I understand that, but the science on brain and memory says that memories are completely faulty.
See, neurologically, what they say is that because when you have sleep paralysis, you always feel like your eyes are open, right?
Right.
Yes.
You feel like you're awake.
Yeah.
What they're saying is you're not really awake, that your eyes are actually closed, and that your mind is picturing what the room would look like with your eyes open, but your eyes are actually closed.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
That's what they say, and that it just looks that way. And then when you actually wake up from it, you can't realize you can't make the distinction between whether or not your eyes were just
no differentiation whatsoever.
Right, you can't really make the difference. That's why it's a very, very hard thing to. All that I know is this. Let me just say this, and again, it could be psychological, so you don't know. I've had sleep paralysis, where I would see these weird figures. They would come in the night, and I couldn't speak.
That's what happened to me.
So I would go to pray against it, and my mouth would be mumbled, and the only thing I could do was barely get out the name Jesus.
Yeah,
that's it.
Exactly.
And I
I
would just say Jesus, but it would be like mumbled and like ruffled. You couldn't really say it, but I would just keep saying Jesus, 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 and the more I said it, I would start to be able to move my arms again, and move my legs, and move my body, speak better. And then all of a sudden, it's boom, you just snap out of it, you're like, and you're breathing heavy. You're like, what's happening right now? It's very strange.
But now, could that be you saying a word that's comforting to you,
yes,
and that's what snaps you out of it?
Could be.
Or it could be, you know what I mean?
It's impossible to prove. You're not going to be able to prove
right,
it.
Wait, so
it's total
like you said, you're trying to speak and you can't, and you're saying something, the word that's comfortable. When it happened to me, I was trying to scream out "Mom," trying so hard, and I'm just like, and it wouldn't come out. And then I just remember Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ was the only word that came out. I remember I had a mirror in my room, and there was just like these white fucking like curtains. It looked like they were coming out of the mirror, and then like a voice was yelling at me, like laughing at me, because I couldn't say it. But then when I said Jesus, woke up.
If I believe anybody has a fucking demon in them, it's Dennis.
Yo,
because he'll text me in the morning on some crazy shit.
Random times in the morning,
like,
right?
My mom just came in and fucking everything in the room was shaking, and she fucking prayed and everything stopped.
Middle of the night.
What?
So alright, so this is another one.
And I trust your mom 100%.
Yeah, no, she never makes some shit up. She fucking,
no, she's gangster.
Yeah. No. So this is one. So, alright, let me start from the beginning. First of all, my fucking camera's not even recording. We're sitting there with a closed camera this whole time. Anyways. Did it? No. This is not even recording. Yo, we're fucking awesome. That's honestly so funny. Is it? It's working? Oh, alright, fuck it. Maybe it's just after a while, I don't know. So anyways, going back to that John Ramirez video I sent you guys. This guy was a devil worshiper. Spoke to the devil in human form. The devil would come to him and tell him what missions to carry out. And this guy would have people killed, and you could watch his whole testimony on YouTube. And in the end of it, for some reason, something overcame me. It like made me realize like to get away. I do a lot of bad, stupid shit, which I'm not gonna say on here what I do, but it's a lot of bad and stupid shit, which is I know is not good. So after that video, after watching that, I prayed that night. And I asked God, or I asked Jesus to forgive me, and I tried to turn away from all of that. And I told every evil thing and every like temptation to be gone. Then I started having really bad dreams. I broke my leg. And then the weekend after, I'm sleeping in my parents' house in Staten Island. It's about 7:50 in the morning. Nobody was home because my mom and sister took my brother to school, and my dad was at work. I'm knocked out, unconscious in my bed. All of a sudden, I hear this fucking loud bang sound. I thought someone broke my window, bro. I thought someone threw a fucking stone through my window. I jumped out of bed instantly. I see my curtains rocking back and forth. Windows closed. I pull up the curtain. I'm like, yo, what the fuck? Nothing happened. Nobody's around. No car in the driveway. Nothing. Nobody. I'm like, Mom. I'm screaming, Mom. Diana, my sister's name. Nobody's home. I'm like, what the fuck? I open my eyes. I see it's 7:50. I realize, I'm like, yo, nobody's home. What the fuck? And then I remember but I was still like in a little bit of a daze, because I jumped out of bed. And my curtain was rocking back and forth. I have like wooden curtains. Like the actual like little sheets are wooden. So it was like someone just fucking started smacking them. It was such a loud noise. It jumped me out of my sleep. I thought someone broke the window. So then I call my mom. I'm like, yo, where are you? She's like, oh, I'm taking Gabriel to school. So I'm like, yo, can you come home real quick? And then I explained to her what happens. So she's in my room. It's just me and her. And I have my cable on top of my fireplace. And I look at it to tell the time. And I had just looked at it to tell the time, which was 7:50, to see what was going on. And never touch it. I don't turn on the TV. My lights never go out. My fireplace is always working. She comes in the room, and I'm like starting to shake a little bit right now. She comes in the room, and she starts praying, because she said it's a demonic attack. She starts praying, and all of a sudden, you hear a little doop. Fucking cable goes out in the middle of her praying. Cable goes out. Everything goes out instantly, bro. And that never happened once. And this was as I fucking denounced those evil things. She's saying you're under demonic attack. So those experiences especially, and then learning more about sleep paralysis and all this other stuff, is leading me to believe. I firmly believe in it. Somebody asked, do you believe in Jesus? I believe in Jesus. I believe in the devil. I believe in demonic attacks and all this shit. I don't go vocal about it, but I absolutely do believe in it based on my experiences, huh?
You said you did now, bud.
I have to second that I have witnessed some crazy exorcisms. Some of the most wild things. I'm talking people that were completely normal 1 second, you pray with them, and then they get up and freak out. Whatever's in them manifest physically. I can't even. I talk about it. I never forget it. This one guy smashed his head into glass.
What?
Cracked the glass. The glass went on the floor. He jumped on the floor like a dog.
In church?
No, not in church. In a deli.
Really?
And started rubbing his face on the glass.
Was someone praying over him?
His face. Yeah, I was praying with him. Me and my friend were praying with him. The dude freaked out. He was telling us this whole story. He was what's called satanic ritual abuse. He was offered up on an altar to Satan.
Call that bath salt, son.
So we
shit in Miami.
You think that's drugs?
We prayed with him, and then he just freaked out. Now they would say he's crazy, but real quick, can I just tell a story real quick? Because your story made me think of this. When I was younger, I would go like 19, 20 years old, 18, 19, 20. I would go to like abandoned mental hospitals with my friends.
Oh my God!
So we
got some stories for that.
So we would always drive. I know I don't need to tell you guys this, but I just want to give you the disclaimer. This is the gospel truth. This happened. So I remember we went to the Essex County Mental Hospital in New Jersey. It's in a weird New Jersey magazine. I saw it. I was like, I definitely got to go here. They have these underground morgues where they used to keep dead bodies.
Sick.
So I remember telling my boy, I was like, yo, my friend John, I was like, we got to go to the Essex County Mental Hospital. We got to get in the basement. We got to go to these morgues. There's tunnels underneath all the buildings on the ground that takes you to all the different buildings. You go through these tunnels on the ground. But now it's heavily patrolled by police. The police drive through the ground, stuff like that. Yeah. So you have to park off the grounds. You have to park somewhere like, on residential block, and you have to walk there.
You gotta hike.
And you gotta hike, and you gotta go there at night. You got hop fences, all this crazy stuff. Yeah. So me, my friend John, my friend Maria at the time, my friend John's girlfriend Sarah, we all went together. So we finally locate the morgues. We took pictures down there. I still have some of the pictures.
That's it.
And I know deep down, like, I shouldn't be going here. There were dead bodies here. And I firmly believe that if you open up a door, if you open a door to these things, whether it be your eye gate, your ear gate, or you allow these things to happen, like playing with an Ouija board, all these things, you wind up making yourself susceptible to a demonic attack, or for something to catch on to you. This is what like Christians will like something to attach to you, quote unquote. It sounds mystical, it sounds spiritual, it sounds silly, but I think it happened to me. So we're in the morgue, and I remember we were in the hallway and we were walking. I'm like, yo, there were dead bodies on there. So we jump on
Oh,
the
you
dead body
idiot.
tables.
I wouldn't even do that.
And we're taking pictures with dead bodies where it was absolutely ridiculous.
Until you get hepatitis C, bro.
So we get out in the hallway, and I firmly believe till this day that my friend Maria said to me, "I'm coming home with you tonight."
Hey.
She said to me, "I'm coming home with you tonight." So I turned around, looking at her, I was like, "Well, yeah, obviously. How are you gonna get home?" And she goes, "What?" And I was like, "Of course you're coming home with me tonight. Like, how are you gonna get home?" She's like, "What are you talking about?"
No.
And I was like, "You just said you're coming home with me tonight." And
She's a
like,
succubus.
yeah, right.
Imagine.
Imagine that. She goes, I never said that. I was like Maria. Like, yes, you did. She's like, no, I never said that. And I was like, all right, whatever. Maybe I heard wrong, whatever the case may be. But I know I heard, and I thought it sounded like her. Mm-hmm. I'm coming home with you tonight.
Oh my
That's
God.
I just got chills.
I'll never forget it. I walked in my basement door. I go in the house. My mom was in London, England at the time. She was at some prayer convention in London, England. I go to get in bed. I get in bed, all of a sudden, unbelievable, intense fear comes over me.
Oh
Never
my
felt
God.
anything like it in my life. It
I know
felt
exactly what you mean.
like I'm not a very good flyer. When I have to get on a plane, I get these
suck
panic
at that
attacks.
too.
Yeah, that was what it felt like. In bed, it came out of nowhere.
That's all.
Turn the lights on. I'm like, this is crazy. Something's wrong. I don't know what's going on right now. It was 3:45 in the morning. I said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to stay awake, and I'm going to wait until the sun comes up, then I'm going to go to bed. Because for some reason, demons only come at night. You ever notice that?
That's
They only
exactly.
So you just broke
They only
night.
come at
my
night.
God.
So I just break night, wait for the sun to come up, go to sleep. The next night, I'm hearing cats meow. I'm like,
hate
cats? I'm like, what's going on? I get out of bed, and every time I would look somewhere, I would look at the edge of my bed, I would see like the tail of a cat go right behind it. What looked like the tail of a cat. I'm like, is my eyes playing tricks on me? Like, this sounds made up, right? It sounds absolutely crazy what I'm saying. Hearing cats meow, feeling the jolting to get out of bed, hearing people walking around my bed as I'm sleeping, feeling footsteps, or that feeling when you know that a TV's on.
Yeah.
You know, like stuff like that.
It's like a hum.
Yeah, it's like a hum. I'm like, what is this? I'm picking up on weird frequencies. Can't sleep for another day. Next night, can't sleep. And I'm like, I can't do this. So I wind up calling my mom on London time. I forgot whatever the time was. I wound up calling her. I was like, Ma, did something stupid. I went to a mental hospital. I was hanging out in a morgue. I think something came home with me. She was like, of course it did, you idiot. Why would you do that? I was like, I need you to pray. Something's wrong. She prayed. It went away. Never came back. No cats meowing. No humming. No people walking around at bed. And no sleep paralysis.
I think the moral of this podcast is just going to be the little pussies and call our moms. And
Just call our moms when we need prayer.
Yeah.
Two things real quick. I want to give a shout out to my boy John Almeida. He fucking wrote in a question. One of them was, where do we all stand on religion? I'm pretty sure we answered that pretty in fucking depth.
Right.
But the other thing too is I've never had any experiences even remotely like that. Nothing even strange, like nothing
That's
moving.
what blows my mind.
No weird, yeah, but at the same time, does it? Like, think about how I fucking react anytime
Well, you
anything
don't
goes
give a
bad.
fuck.
I'm just like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we got shit to do.
We got shit to do.
It's literally become like just my fucking catchphrase at this point. It's like whenever things go wrong and get fucked up and they're getting crazy, it's like, all right.
We got shit to do.
Yeah, like, you see me get pissed for a second, and then be like, all right, whatever.
Yeah.
Right.
What do you think to that? Because the camera doesn't see it, and people don't know, but this motherfucker has a table to the left of us that he turned into a Ouija board. He handmade the shit and played on it. Supposedly, that's like one of the most demonic things.
This is like 6 years ago.
Yeah, and what... Can I say the thing with the... where he got cut?
No.
I can't say that?
Nah, chill.
Good thing I asked first.
Definitely.
We got a lot of things we cannot talk about.
I'm like, what? You got cut? No, motherfucker. You're not talking about that.
Well, shit like that I don't understand. You do.
No, it goes back to, first off, that I do. Let's not.
Let's
cut. No. Just
right.
fuck. No. I didn't do anything.
All right, clear it up.
I didn't cut myself or anything like
you
that.
didn't cut yourself.
I'm not telling the story.
All right.
Anyway, this goes back to me always having, like, I always loved heavy metal. I always loved fucking horror movies and shit like that. Like, I've always just been obsessed with that kind of imagery. Mm-hmm. If I see a shirt with a Ouija board on it, I'm buying it. Like, I got one that says I'm buying, and it literally says, I've come to do the devil's work. Like, I made a t-shirt that looks like that, and it's got nothing to do with actual Satanism. It's just the dumb shit I've always been fucking attracted to. I've always been like, oh, that's cool looking artwork. You know what I mean? To me, that's all I see, though. It's just a piece of artwork. That's it.
You fucking emo goth. Wearing all black. Look at you.
Meanwhile, I'm the most emo person ever. Walking around with tears.
I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say that if you do any of these things that you're guaranteed to have some sort of supernatural experience or anything like that. Because I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, I don't think that anything guarantees that you're going to have one of these experiences and whatnot. Maybe you will have one in the future. Maybe you won't. I just know that I've had them. You know,
right.
And I've had these experiences. They're very, very strange.
And the fact that I've never had one doesn't make me not believe in it. You know,
right.
Again, I'm completely open. I wasn't there when the shit happened to you. I don't know. I'm not saying. I don't take either of you fucking liars. You
right.
know?
What the fuck did you just call me?
I'm a liar.
I ain't calling you a truther. Nah.
My favorite thing about Dennis, especially with this shit, is his genuine fear. Just the genuine fear of the supernatural.
I am such a
unknown.
pussy, bro. I remember I had to go to Mike's house because I could not sleep at night. Remember this shit? I wouldn't be able to sleep at night. I'd be up till 3 in the fucking morning. I just felt like there was something in my room fucking with me, just for whatever reason.
Yo, he'd tell me some stories.
Some crazy shit.
Dreams. He'd wake up with physical marks on his body. Like,
oh, yep.
Fuck.
I got bit by a snake. I had a snake bite on my hand.
You have to tell that story.
All right.
With your little brother.
Oh, shit. Right. All right, so...
I think he's on about that.
Yeah, so I had a dream one time, and this really blows my fucking mind. I had a dream one time, it was nighttime, and I'm walking on land barefoot, and there was like some rocks next to me. It was kind of like a border, you know, like at the beach, and then to the right of the rocks was the sand, so I had to jump on, it was like this, the rocks disconnected the sand from the actual land, you know? So I'm on the land walking on the grass, and I had to cross onto the rocks to get onto the sand, for whatever reason. And I remember looking at the rocks, and I'm like, there's a snake in there. But I was barefoot. I'm like, I don't want to get bit.
Snakes.
But I'm like, whatever, I'm not going to get bit. So I step, and a fucking black snake comes, and I stepped on it by accident, and then I'm like, fuck, a snake, and it jumps, and it bites me in my left hand. And then I remember the fucking pain. I'm like, fuck. And I grabbed it and I stuck it in more so it wouldn't get out.
Oh.
And I fucking twisted it and ripped its head, like ripped its body from its head. And then I pulled the head out with the fangs. And I'm like, fuck, I got bit by a snake. So I'm trying to, and I remember hopping in the car, trying to type in the GPS, like hospital, and I don't know where the fuck I was. I'm trying to drive and the GPS keeps like fucking just my, like the little pinpoint thing from where I am would just move to the next block. And it was like something was fucking with me. And I'm like, and I can't fucking get good. I'm like, fuck. So somehow I wake up. I snap out of it. I wake up. I'm like, yo, I'm so dazed and thrown off. And this is right before I was going to church on a Sunday morning. And I go upstairs and I'm eating breakfast and I'm just like still so confused. And like I'm like still out of it, kind of like still like sleepy, still there. So I'm like, yo, I just had the, and I'm like, my mom, brother, and my little brother Gabriel and my mom are in the kitchen with me. And I'm like, yo, I had the craziest dream last night. I was like, I got bit by, and then my brother goes, a snake cuts me off.
God.
It's crazy.
I drop my fork, I drop my cup, I'm like drinking. I'm like, wait, what? He goes, you got bit by a snake in your dream. I'm like, Gabriel, how the fuck did you know that? I was like, did I tell you? He was like, no, you didn't say anything. And I asked my mom, I'm like, yo, did I tell you guys this already? Because I was like, I'm still like kind of sleepy. She was like, no. And I'm like, Gabriel, how'd you know that? He goes, I don't know, it was just in my head.
Then he comes to church, and he's got these two little marks, these two
Yeah.
little dots.
Get the fuck out.
Yeah,
John,
they're gone now.
I'm not
They're
even
gone
kidding.
now.
I showed my mom. I was like, Mom,
Exactly
he
where
had a
the
dream he got
snake
bit by a
bit me.
snake, and he's got marks on him.
It looked like two little fang marks right in my hand.
I mean, I'm very skeptical too. I always run like you know,
I'm not
faith without
skeptical.
reason is not a reasonable
it's
faith.
a
You know what I mean?
physical
Like,
mark, bro.
and I'm like, what the heck? And
I'm not even sitting here saying like I don't fucking believe. I'm sitting here thinking about anyone listening and being like, oh, these fucking idiots.
They're gonna think we're fucking
fucking-
idiots.
I know,
It's
It
my
is what
BDN,
it
so
is.
It's been a pleasure doing
Yeah, alright guys, it's
might
been
be the end
real.
of the fucking podcast in general. This is it.
You guys are
I'm gonna be
great.
locked up in the loony bin. Someone's gonna call on me.
Like, tennis
No,
was a little
but
fucking off.
yeah, no, but and I don't do drugs. I don't fucking. This is, I swear to God, the God's honest truth. Like nothing's made up. You guys know I tell
crazy.
shit like it
No,
is,
no,
but
no.
yeah, but it's fucking like a physical fucking mark on my hand, bro. Right, and I didn't realize it.
It's fucking.
I realized it after my brother said that, and I picked up the cup with my. I eat with my right hand, and I picked up the cup with my left, and I raised the cup to drink, and I just see these. I'm like, yo, wait, what the fuck is that? And I look, exactly where I got bit. It looked like two fang marks.
That's
Exactly
so
where it
fucked up.
you
was.
see, now my mom has a a book, like a book on like spiritual like symbolism and things like that, and I don't read too much into this, but I did read the book, and there are certain things with like sides of your body, if you continue to get hurt on a certain side of your body or this, that, and the third, and I just thought about your leg. Isn't it your left leg that got hurt?
Yeah.
He got hurt his leg twice.
Right.
Like,
Right, my left shoulder.
Left shoulder.
He's got a
Like,
fucking lopsided demon in him.
alright, he got a lopsided demon. He got his hand
leg.
bit, the left hand bit. It's kind of crazy. It's kind of, I don't know.
It
It's
is
a little
weird,
ironic.
actually,
It's kind
yeah.
of strange.
Shitty demon in him. It's fucking got a bum leg.
It's oh god.
But I would be interested in like the psychological implications of that. Like, what did we, you know how like they do like dream studies on?
Yeah.
Like I'd be interested in that
Yeah,
too.
me
not,
too.
Not even discounting the religious side of it or the.
No, I mean, I want to know the
spiritual side.
fucking truth, bro.
That's what I
Like,
mean.
how the what I don't get is how the fuck what I have in
crazy.
the dream, and I kind of forgot about it from the time that I woke up and the time that I went upstairs to eat, and it just like it started coming back to me because I was so out of it, you know, like it was weird. I was still kind of like in a dream state, and then the physical fucking manifestation on my hand
That is strange.
is what bugged me out, and what fucked me up was my brother saying, just knowing it, and he's saying, I just saw it in my head.
And I would have freaked the fuck out if I was in the room.
I was bugging out. I stopped eating. I looked at my mom like, Mom, what the fuck is this? And thank God we were going to church because I would have lost my fucking mind. And I had to tell Mike and his mom, like,
Yeah, it was kind of
they
like
prayed over me, like it was insane. And another thing I remember, when I was with my ex, and she played with Ouija boards when she was a kid. You know, and I don't know what else she did with that kind of shit. Maybe like her family did brujeria or whatever, because she's Cuban. But I remember like I would stay at her house up in her room, and like at night she would always say like she'd hear fucking scratching in the walls, banging, rattling, and she'd wake up with all these marks and bruises and scratches and shit. I'm like, yo, what the fuck? And I left her right before she went to sleep, and then I'd see her right in the morning. So it was like I'd see her last thing before I went to bed, and then first thing in the morning I'd go see her some days, you know? And she'd wake up with fucking bruises and cuts. I'm like, yo, what? How's that possible? And she's like, yo, I don't know. I just wake up with this shit. Like, I hear the stuff in my room. And then when I'd be in there, sometimes, like, let's say she'd go to the bathroom or go downstairs, and I'd be in there by myself, and this intense pressure would come over me, like this weird energy. And it felt so tangible. I could feel the shit. And then like there would be times like nobody would be home. We'd be upstairs in the room. Her fucking stove would turn on out of nowhere. Like we'd hear shit downstairs. It's just weird shit, bro. Weird shit.
That's
so,
yeah, I've literally never had anything even remotely close to this shit happen to me. At all. Like nothing I could even think. My mom actually tells a story about when I was younger. It was right after my grandfather passed away. I was like 4 years old. And we had just moved into the house that my mother grew up in, where they lived. And I was sitting in my grandfather's den. It was like his room. It was right after he died. And I was sitting there playing. And my mother heard me talking to someone. So she comes inside and she's like, what the fuck is going on? And she keeps seeing me turn back at my grandfather's chair.
Really?
Yeah. And talking to him as if he was in the room. Not like, you know what I mean?
Wow.
So I was like,
very interesting.
maybe that was a fucking experience, but I don't remember it. You know what I mean? So who fucking knows? It's the closest thing I got.
Aren't kids like very open to the spiritual world and
That's
realm
what
and
they say.
everything?
Yeah, I guess because they're so innocent.
I mean, but is there any way to really fucking...
I
You
guess
know,
there's
because...
really no way to know.
No. I mean, it's
It's very hard to know unless like there's some way of specifying. Like a kid may know something about someone, like, oh, I saw so and so wearing a shirt. That was,
Right.
it's like, but he's been dead for blah blah blah. But he did have that shirt. You know, he's been dead for so long,
yeah.
but he did have that shirt. Maybe something like
there's
that.
no way to fucking even, like, test a kid like that without
Yeah.
traumatizing the shit out of them.
Right.
Not even worth it.
I actually got two other questions that, they kind of go hand in hand a little bit.
Yeah, good.
One of them was, do you think there's a cap/limit on mental solitude? Meaning, does one reach the pinnacle of mental solitude, or is it limitless until one's death? I think they use solitude wrong. I think they're talking about peace, because solitude means like alone.
Right.
Yo,
right.
is that door open, bro? Why is that shit in there?
Oh my god, bro.
Bro, close
Yeah,
the
it is.
fucking
It's
door,
open.
please. Close the door for me.
See, we're doing it again. You just got your live moment of
There you
Dennis
go.
shitting his pants.
I'm looking at the fucking... You see the reflection of the light?
Yeah.
I just see the shit moving.
door's open a little bit.
Alright. Yo,
He's
this
freaking
is like... This is not... made up. This is fucking.
Kid could do like a spinning head kick
Right.
and kill somebody.
Bro, you
like-
can't punch no demon.
No, he sends me after. He goes, bro, go check the fucking door. Like, I'm the fucking idiot who's got to jump in front of the demonic bullets for this kid. I told him the story how we were in the club in AC last time, and I park on the fucking top of the couch. I finally get a spot. It was wall to wall. I'm sitting down. He comes in, like, slides in, nestles in, and he goes, I feel safe over here with you. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Talking about that.
I love him.
Like, Dennis, you could kill somebody. Like, you're a professional fighter.
But the other question was, it was just a statement, spiritual ego traps. I think they kind of go hand in hand. Because spiritual ego traps is like something, like when you start getting into a religion or astrology or whatever the fuck it is, you think all of a sudden because you have a little bit of knowledge in it, now all of a sudden
You're
like
right.
you've hit your peak. You know, like now you know everything there is to know about it, now you're a fucking guru. Like you see that shit a lot.
It's ridiculous.
Do you see that in church?
Yeah, you know. I think it's called a religious spirit. Yeah, I think it's a
What do you
religious spirit. Like if you ever look at like Pharisees in the Old Testament,
Mhm.
I'm sorry, Pharisees in the New Testament, Jesus always has it out with the religious order of the day, and they always kind of hold to that same standard. Almost, maybe it's a little bit different, but this idea like, well, we've arrived, like we have the law, like we know this. So like, I guess it's just this overall like religious connotation that people
Certainty.
just carry with you. I don't even know if I would call it certainty, yes, but more so like certainty regarding like the law, like the rules,
Right.
or like, you know what I mean, like what's actually written in the book.
Right.
But does that make sense?
Yeah, like they latch on to that little bit of what it is, and the way that I think that ties into the other question about being like a cap on your potential or whatever it is. Yeah, I do think there's a cap on people's potential. The same way you said about the thing about truth, how you're not a black guy, you're Caucasian male, right? Like I'm never gonna fucking dunk a basketball. I could train the exact.
That was so fucking stereotypical.
No, but I'm not. I'm a fucking 6 foot tall white guy. I'm not dunking a fucking basketball. It's not happening.
No, I'm right there with
I
you.
could have trained the exact same amount of time that Dennis did, and I wouldn't have been able to be capable of what the fuck he's capable of. It's just not happening. So I think that mentally and emotionally...
I'm not black.
I didn't say you
My
could dunk a
belly
basketball,
button
you fucking idiot.
Oh my
Belly
God.
button down. But I think mentally and emotionally that people have a cap as well. I think that everybody's got a different ceiling. Nobody wants to be the dummy in the room. Nobody wants to be the fool. No one wants to think that they're the ones who are the fucking, the masses or the majority. Everyone... But who do you think the majority is? It's fucking all of us. Is that your bullshit camera again?
I heard something beep.
I'll kick the fucking thing right off the stand.
Yo, but fucking bottle cap challenge with the camera.
Camera kick challenge.
Oh,
Kick it off the spin.
yo, there's lightning striking outside.
I really hope it's getting caught on camera.
No, I just see it. Like I see a flash.
Behind
But
you,
I'm
it's been an amazing one.
really.
Yeah, it's
I'm convinced. Fucking convinced. I'll bet money on this. If Mike starts praying right now and we
Start
get into the
raining?
zone, no, we'll fucking get the lightning will strike right here. Do you have a tree by you?
Crazy.
Come on.
Yeah, bro, there's a tree back there, and I don't want it falling on my house or screen house. So,
Right, so we can't break.
yeah, because this is the only fucking podcast studio we have at the moment.
Oh, I
dude.
wish.
Don't need that shit in my life.
Wait, real quick. What was the question about the solitude?
Let's see.
Blah, blah, blah.
It was, do you think there's a cap or limit on mental solitude? Meaning
mental peace.
Yeah, I think they just used the word solitude wrong. I think they meant like mental peace or growth or whatever the fuck it is. No, I don't think that there should be I don't even think there should be a peak, even if you are able to go and continue in seeking. Like, to me, it's all about the journey. Like, my journey's end when I'm dead. That's it. Like, the day you stop growing is the day you die. You know what I mean? How do you feel about it? Do you
I
think?
don't even know how to answer that question.
Right?
I'm trying to figure out exactly what he was trying to ask, or she was trying to ask.
I don't think everybody's capable of it. I don't think everybody's capable of growing to certain limits. Like,
Yeah, I kind of just live by the just take it day by day principle.
right.
I'm
not going to write the fucking greatest love ballad that's ever been written.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's...
Yeah, I don't think that spirituality works like that. I'm not sure it's like that you reach this limit, it's like, oh, well, now I finally achieved
I don't
this.
know if they necessarily mean spirituality, though. I mean, just like maybe
Just
knowledge
peace.
or peace or, like, is there a final destination of happiness, let's say?
I think when I get to heaven, to me, yeah. I don't know if you ever really achieve that state of nirvana.
Yeah.
So like as a Hindu would say on Earth, I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think there's a happy place.
Yeah, so long as you're living in the skin suit, I don't think that there is.
But most people do have that idea of a happy place. To most people, it sounds stereotypical, but like everyone kind of wants the wife and the kids and 2-car garage with the fucking picket fence. You know, like that's I think when most people feel like they can kick back and that's it. You know, like, that's their happy place.
You know what? It's so funny, right?
But that's their ceiling.
Right, I agree, and
that's
I think,
okay.
Yeah, I do think that it's scary and superficial though, because that when the rug gets pulled out from under you and the poop hits the fan, what do you rely on? Because now that finite item that you created, the finite idea that you created in your head.
Poop.
That's why I'm laughing.
Now what? Like, now what do you do? Before Jesus died, he's talking to his disciples, and he says to Peter, he says to him, Peter, Satan has asked for you by name, that he may sift you like wheat. But Jesus tells Peter, he goes, but I have prayed for you, that your faith would not fail you. And that verse always struck me. It's one of my favorite verses in Scripture, because you got to imagine Jesus, probably the greatest intercessor, like the greatest prayer that ever walked the face of the planet.
He's met you, motherfucker.
No, I don't know about that. But he's praying for Peter. And he says, but like, the devil's coming after you, and he's asked for you, like you by name, like he's coming to kill you. He wants to take you out. But I prayed for you. He says that your faith would not fail you. He didn't say, I prayed for you, Peter, that your marriage wouldn't fail you. He said, I didn't pray that you wouldn't have an economic fallout and that you keep your job. He said, I didn't pray that your gift wouldn't fail you. He said, I prayed that your faith would not fail you.
Fucking camera off again.
You know what I mean? Like, that your faith would not fail you. So it shows that you're going to deal with adversity, that there's going to be hardship in life, and that the most important thing that's going to make you finish the race, that's going to make you get to the end of the round, that's going to make you hear the bell, is your faith. He was putting a very high premium on faith. So as far as creating these ideas, like you were saying, or these subjective notions of, I guess, happy places, or like this
finish line.
Yeah, this finish line, whatever it is. I don't think that you get there until you see the Lord, and that's what I think Jesus was telling Peter. Like, I pray that your faith would not fail you, so that you would make it to the end of the line. That your faith would be the catalyst that gets you to the happy place, which would be in the afterlife with Him.
How do you feel about it? You think everybody's got a cap? Think people have a fucking different level of what they can achieve?
I think it really just depends on the person, man. How much they want to believe.
I don't just mean in faith. I mean like in fucking
Just in
growth, just human growth. Like,
I think everyone's potential is unlimited. It's just really how much they believe.
think so?
I think so. Yeah, I think.
I don't know. I know a lot of fucking people we know personally that you talk to them and they're fucking. Then they're only getting to a certain point.
I think that's really on them, though. Like, what's the difference between me and them, or me and you, or me and Mike?
Capability. Same way I said, like, I'm not going to be able to dunk a fucking basketball. I think people have a different level of...
So what type of cap are you talking about? Like, spiritual, mental, physical?
All of it. Like, I think people... Like, I have a different mental cap than this person. They have a different... Like, I'm never going to be able to learn fucking astrophysics.
Why not?
Well, I guess... but are we talking
register.
about, like, spiritually?
No, just in general.
Just in general.
In general.
Oh, like in general, just yes.
Emotional intelligence, whatever.
Yeah, on a purely scientific level, I think that you have a genetic potential.
Right.
And once you reach that, like physically, emotionally, mentally, I mean, emotionally, I think you could always choose, right? Like, there's always this idea, like, well, I could become a wiser person.
That's what I'm saying.
You know what I mean?
But who the fuck does that? I think because now that factors into what I call people's personal law of physics. It's the way that the world operates to them. Like, they think the world, like, there's rules to the world, and it's usually based on whatever their fucking genetic makeup is, whatever their brain wiring is, mixed with exposure to certain things, mixed with their experiences. So that's how they come to, and everyone's is different.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I do think that you do have a cap. The same way that you inherit certain traits from your parents and stuff like, like, it's just the same way that biology works, I think it does with the brain too.
Even the ability... Oh, sorry.
No, I was just going to say in that sense, and yeah, I agree with that.
Even the way that your ability to process knowledge. Like, people say that knowledge is power, but if you don't know how to appropriate the knowledge, then what are you going to do?
Dude, I didn't know that I was dyslexic until fucking, like, recently. When I heard someone explaining how they found out they were dyslexic with math. I cannot do math to save my life. You could show me it a million
I'm the
times,
same way.
and I just cannot absorb it. And I would fail every test because I couldn't show the work on paper. I would get to the answer, and the answer would be correct, and I couldn't show it on paper because I had to devise my own way of fucking doing it. Yeah, and I still have a problem with numbers. Like, in my day job, I have to read these 6-digit numbers, and I got to really focus on them just to fucking read them because they jump around. Yeah.
Wow.
It's crazy. And I didn't know. So that's, it's one of my caps. Like, I'm not going to be able to do that. Meanwhile, you have somebody who could put into equation what a fucking lightning bolt is.
Yeah.
You know? Seriously.
Well, that's different though. That's a physical cap. But that I agree with.
Right.
I absolutely agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah, but is that a physical cap? It's a mental cap. It's my brain.
Yeah, could be.
I guess. Yeah.
I guess it could just be
Whereas
that.
someone's is going to be much higher and someone else's is going to be much lower. Now, can I break through that? Probably with a shitload of work. It's going to be insanely fucking hard because now I have to figure out how to learn how to do math with dyslexia and learning formulas in a way, it's going to take an intense amount of work.
Yeah. Like, even, there are certain things, like, and I don't want to dig too deep into this. I might sound crazy. How much time do we have, by the way?
As much as you want.
It is
Yeah, I'd stay here for
this
another.
stupid fucking camera.
I'd stay here for another 2 hours.
I don't give
Honestly,
a
I'm
fuck.
loving this.
There's no.
Like, for instance, I will never be in a position where, like, somebody could disrespect my mom and I wouldn't want to, like, emotionally just rip the head off the shoulders,
yeah.
right? Like, that'll never change.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I will always want to kill them. But my ability to choose to not kill them could change over time. You know what I mean? Like I could bring myself or train myself or bring myself to a place where, like, while the emotion will never go away.
Wait,
like,
you're all zen about it then.
Yeah,
You're like, I'm not going to fucking kill them.
Exactly. But my ability to choose differently could change.
But see, you have the self-awareness to understand that you even have that choice where most people don't.
Well, some people don't, exactly.
And that goes back to comfort zones.
Yeah.
People want to kind of they want yes men around them. They want people who are just going to reaffirm whatever the fuck they think. Like, that's another thing that we're super lucky about is, like, our group, our fucking core, our team, all this and that, we'll call each other the fuck out. Like,
that's the way it has to be.
Anywhere else,
Absolutely.
like, I'll fucking stab you for somebody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, but if I see you doing something, like, yo, Dennis, like, fucking
Chill
do it.
out, yeah.
And same thing with me. Like, he'll be like, yo, check it. You know, like,
Yeah,
he'll check
no,
me.
that's what I love about our whole
the
fucking
group.
You need
group,
the
yeah.
accountability without a doubt.
Getting away from the spirituality and shit. Do you have any other questions that you wanted to hit that were spirituality related or
let me
anything
see.
like that?
I had one that was a little. Is someone a demon if they're not a good human? Do they have the devil inside them? So now I don't know really.
I mean, these are so like, I don't.
They're so vague.
I appreciate that they're asking us questions that they think we would have an authority on.
Yeah.
I've
no.
seen Christians, okay, who I know, if they died right now, I firmly believe they would go to heaven and be with the Lord.
Really?
Yeah, and these people are crazy and do horrific things, and they're Christians. You know, like, everybody's broken. So, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, to say, like,
That's
well,
another thing,
did you
too.
have a demon that lives? I mean, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying that it's a poorly asked question. I'm just saying, like,
Your dream is fucking someone else's nightmare.
right? Like people are human beings. I think that they make bad decisions. The Bible says, "For all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God." Like, you all suck equally.
Right.
You know,
Yeah, so
you all need God.
I don't think anyone who's bad is a demon. I mean, do I think someone who's a serial killer is a demon? I don't fucking know. I don't know what a demon is to answer
right.
that. But maybe they would be. If there is a demon or whatever it is, they're going to be most likely the physical embodiment.
Someone
of that,
may be oppressed
that
by
evil.
demons, but they're not demons. Like, demons don't have physical form.
Or even if they are. If anyone's going to be it, it's going to be a fucking serial killer or some shit.
Right.
Like, you know?
Ted Bundy.
Like, I don't think
Shit.
some just regular person off the street is just a shit person.
So what do you think, like, people who hear voices and shit, like the crackheads in the city?
I don't know. Now you're just getting into too much fucking. Oh boy.
Oh!
The wind is picking up.
The
It's
door
getting
just
serious.
closed.
Well,
Yeah.
I would fucking hate, seriously, if we have to end this podcast at some point because of the fucking rain.
Or
That
just
sucks
demons.
so bad.
Oh, what the fuck, bro?
See, now
Dennis is getting scared,
Dennis is getting
look.
scared. that
Is
a fucking
this?
demon-
Yeah, but this isn't just coincidence. It was
No,
fucking-
because I read the weather an hour ago,
No.
and it said possible thunderstorms.
Possible, but what's that have to do with the fucking door closing?
Yo! That better be on camera.
crazy.
That better be on fucking camera.
Dude,
Oh,
You saw that?
shit.
You saw the
I
bolt? That
I
was
saw that. I
sick.
saw that.
That was
dude,
gnarly.
I don't know why I see lightning and I just think God's flexing. Like,
Just showing off a
muscles,
like,
yeah.
that's scary
That's
stuff.
Oh,
Yo, can we announce your fight? Are we allowed to?
yeah, let's go, man.
Yo, tell us.
September 13th, baby. Tropicana in Atlantic City.
And your opponent signed? Well, just got strong with the weed, bro.
Signed. Yeah, I smell that
Sick.
too.
Someone's
Someone's
smoking.
smoking.
Yeah, some stupid motherfucker signed the contract because I'm knocking his ass out.
He's
bro. I'm
definitely
coming.
dumb.
I cannot wait for that.
Yeah, I'm fucking coming for this one.
Now, this is the longest we've gone without you being in training camp, and I say we because the stress on me during training camp, just being your bitch for fucking 2 months.
Don't put it like that.
Nah, it's
You're my right hand man.
I do. My goal is to do as much as I can to keep you completely focused on the fight and nothing else.
And
Not
you
have
do
to
a
worry
great,
about.
you do a
Yeah,
great job.
absolutely.
I try, brother.
You do.
I'm learning as I go. Not doing too bad for a fucking high school dropout.
I feel like your love alone for him, without skill, your love alone can carry him to the next place.
I fucking hope so. I could. You know what?
And you have
reality
the
is,
skill too to go along with
I-
that.
I can't do this the way I do it for you for other people.
I
I
believe
legitimately
it.
can't. I couldn't do it for other people on the team.
I think that's what's so special about just with. I don't want to get too crazy about myself, but like just with my situation in general, like the support I have and the way.
It's insane.
And going back to like the whole God thing, I just think God put all these certain people in my life at this certain time
100%.
And what's that called? Divine appointment?
Divine
Appointment.
appointment, yeah.
at the most perfect time that like this. You can't make this shit up. Like a book can be written about the way I met you guys and other people
Sure.
in certain ways and the way things just lined up.
Sure.
Like
gonna
the
make a
whole
great story.
Yeah, like the whole Chris Weidman's dad thing telling me about church, and then one Sunday the next Sunday for some reason I'm like, all right, I'll go, and then it ends up being Mike speaking, and then Mike's been the most influential fucking figure in my spiritual life.
Right.
You know, so it's just
Right.
it's just unbelievable how the things work out. So
I'll say it so you don't have to blow yourself about it. This kid fights, and he had people who, the day they got their passports, their citizenship,
I know, it's
in,
amazing.
yeah.
in another country, not
in
here,
another continent, bro.
another continent,
I know.
jumped
It's
on an
amazing.
airplane. They fucking bought their plane tickets the day they got the passport and citizenship so that they can come to this kid's fight.
Dude, we're at Trop. I'm there with Rich. We're sitting there, and I told Rich, I was like, you watch. When this kid comes out, watch how crazy the people
The
go.
place
400
shakes.
people.
It
Yeah.
shakes.
They get up, they stand, they're screaming, they're going nuts. I'm like, Dennis, these people love you.
The energy's insane. And this kid's skipping to the fucking cage.
And
He's literally just fucking cool as...
just so you know, when you're gonna fight, I'm so locked in. When you're gonna fight, your last fight, this is no lie. You can ask Rich. I didn't eat for 38 hours. I
Really?
fasted and
Really?
prayed for 38 hours. I fasted the whole time at Tropicana.
Wow.
when I got
That's
there.
right. You only
Yeah.
had the drinks. We were not eating.
Yeah.
You didn't eat.
I wouldn't eat. I refused to eat food. I said
I
I'm
remember
fasting
that.
food until he wins this fight.
That's insane.
Wow.
Do not eat. Fasted and pray.
And see, the 15 minutes you get in the cage are the worst fucking 15 minutes
Dude, I
of my
can't
life. I'm
breathe
sick.
when you get
Yeah,
in
no,
the
I'm sick.
octagon. Can't
I'm
breathe.
sick.
Sorry, guys.
Terrific.
Because I told the story once before, I'm going to tell it again. Fucking, I don't give a shit. And 24 hours before, I'm in a fucking sauna, fully clothed with this kid, with 10 minutes to go, scraping sweat off of him with a fucking credit card. Like, I love this kid more than I could put into fucking words. And then I gotta go watch him by himself into a cage, throw fists with somebody else. Worst fucking feeling ever. I hate it. I hate it.
It's terrifying. It's like watching your kid
Yeah.
like go off to
It's
war.
just fucking. I hate that helpless. I hate it. I fucking hate it. I know you feel it when Al fights.
Oh man.
Oh man. All right, I think we're gonna have to fucking wrap this
Nah,
up.
fuck
Yeah,
that.
you wanna keep
Why?
going even through the
Shit's
rain?
getting
It
hot.
feels really good.
Yeah.
It does feel really
amazing.
good.
But it's gonna sound like shit.
Nah, I don't
If they're
think
willing
so.
to bear with us, I don't give a fuck. Fuck them. We're recording no matter what.
Yeah,
Let's keep
fuck
it going.
it, bro. We soldiers, bro. We soldier on.
All right, so some bullshit fucking dork signed the contract to fight this kid. September 13th, Tropicana, Ring of Combat.
Friday night, and
On-
he's getting fucking slept. And you know why? Not to talk shit, because I don't really talk shit. I just say it like it is.
It is.
But
Preach!
preach. I got hurt, and I missed some fights, and I missed so many opportunities, and I had to go. I was at a really low point, and I had to battle with myself, and with my health, and with my mental state, to rise through that. And I had, thank God, Mike and you and my family, and some of my team there to help me. And it was such a battle with myself that now that I rose out of it, I'd say about a week ago I got out of it. Now I'm a different type of I'm just a different type of energy now. Not even human being, not fighter. I'm just a different type of spirit.
And I've been watching him the last 5 months, man. He's been pacing on the fucking sidelines,
I know.
hungry as
And
fuck.
I've been there with him.
I've been depressed. I've been fucking anxious, nervous, upset, angry. You know, everything bad. And now I'm finding like the shackles are off.
Yep.
You know.
Uncaging the fucking beast.
Yeah, the shackles are off. Now I can fucking go to war.
I told him too. I prayed for him at church one day. Shut this. I prayed for him at church one day, and I was praying basically that his vision, that while he was in this place where he came in on crutches, where he was sidelined, that this would be a time where you can refine your vision.
Right.
Like refine the vision,
Right.
like recultivate it, go back to the drawing board. Not physically, mentally and emotionally.
Right.
Let's go back there. Because vision determines discipline. I always say that, right? Vision
Yes.
determines discipline.
Right.
Vision plus discipline equals destiny. That's what's going to take you to the next place. And you could see now, like, now the chains are off. Now you're back on the field, and now it's like the vision. I got it all together. Now I'm disciplined again. I'm ready to focus. I'm ready to kill it. And I could just tell you, and I'm not saying this to freak your opponent out. I mean, you know, God bless him.
Fuck his opponent.
I'm just saying, I trained with him in the gym multiple times while he was hurt with a broken leg, and I can tell you right now that if he would have gotten the octagon, that nobody would have known the difference. Nobody would have known the difference. His punches were snapping. His jab and his left hook were snapping. I mean, when I say snap in terms of like being a fighter, yeah, like the punch comes out and it comes right back to the position that it started from, just as fast as it went out.
Right.
Okay. His movement was great. His head movement was great, and he was throwing kicks with a broken leg.
He's a little bit of an idiot.
And I'm like, Dennis, can you do this? Yeah, I'll be fine. Can you do this? You sure? Yeah, I'll be all right. He was snapping. He definitely could have gotten an octagon. Even then, completely out of shape with a broken leg.
I know he
could have gotten the
could have
gotten the octagon. And I got news for you: if the guy didn't make it to the second round, the fight would have been over in the first. Like he definitely had it.
Listen,
so now he's.
I've seen the sparring footage that people aren't supposed to see that goes on in the gym, and this kid gives some high level talent some problems, man.
I know.
He's a problem.
UFC
You're the future of the sport.
You know, I believe so.
I know so.
And it's because of the team that I have, and you touched on this before that I don't really talk about. Everyone works hard. Let's say I get to the UFC, I'm at that level. Everyone works hard. Everyone trains right. They're tough. You know, they're experienced. But the thing that I believe that I have that no one else does, or very few do, is that extra gear, which is the belief in God.
Yep.
And I think no matter what, because of that, I cannot be broken. Even if I get knocked the fuck out cold, humiliated, worst knockout in UFC history, I did not lose. That's just another step in the transition, like you told me. That's meant to be. You know, and I go throughout my life saying this is not my plan, this is God's plan. And how are you going to stop God?
That's because, and not to interrupt you,
No.
that's because you've embraced the idea that this is not a career, this is a calling.
Right.
That's
not
exactly,
a career, it's a
That's
calling.
what he's meant to do.
Right.
Exactly. To affect other people's lives. And I always thought like it'll start happening when I'm like the UFC champion. But
It's happening now,
with
man.
certain people, and I don't tell them. And I would like to tell them, but I would sound stupid if I did tell them. But I see it like with certain people, the way they act when I'm around, like they're different, and I see like the way they've progressed in certain ways. I'm just a fucking kid doing what I love, you know. But just that, and I see the way it's affected certain people, and that made me realize like it's starting now, you know. And
You definitely had an influence on people. Listen, I say it all the time that if I didn't meet Dennis when I met him, I don't know where the fuck I would be right now. I really don't.
Sure.
I was in a bad place, brother. It wouldn't have been fucking good. And I hate to sound fucking corny about it, but Dennis gave me a purpose, and not just serving him, but a purpose in like, oh shit, I am capable of doing more. This is a kick in the ass. You know what I mean?
And you start, he kind of like that, your relationship kind of brought a gift out in you that you may not have even realized was there.
It lit a fire. I never want to be a fucking manager ever. And then I got his 10-year-old brother calling the other night. Yo, I'm so mad that we didn't turn the cameras on for this. This is the cutest thing ever. We're sitting in Dunkin' Donuts parking lot. His brother calls me, goes, are you with John? He goes, yeah, and he's on speakerphone. And he goes, you gotta ask him a question. We gotta ask him seriously. Would you want to be my agent if I'm an actor?
Oh my goodness.
Bro, we were hysterical. I could have cried. I could have cried.
I love how he does
He's
the
the
voice
man.
like he's a fucking gingerbread man in Shrek. You know?
That's what it sounded like coming through the phone, just a little brother.
Yeah.
And just like, dude, I'll do anything for you. I'd love to be your agent. It's hilarious. Then I go home
cute.
and I'm signing up for fucking courses to become an agent.
Become an agent for an actor.
Yeah. I'm looking up LA Film School. I'm like, oh shit, I can enroll in online classes. I got
That's
this.
amazing.
It's so funny.
Dude, you want to know what's funny too?
What?
Speaking of divine appointments, as the hail is banging on the roof of this place,
This is gonna sound like shit, but I really don't care.
Fuck it.
I'm fine. I mean, if you're okay with it, I'm okay with it. Look at your team. Look at the people around you.
Hell yeah.
Matt Serra, Ray Long, Ally Quinton,
Yeah.
Aljamain Sterling.
Aljamain
Rob.
Sterling. Like, talking about like you look at the people who are around you. Like, how did that even happen?
Some of the best of the best, man.
Yeah, that's
Think
another
about
thing.
everything all together, like the
Yeah.
culmination of your entire career. Me, John, these guys,
Yeah.
are trailing you up
and,
until this
and,
point.
and the New York Sports Science Lab,
Yep, them
Dr.
too.
Piazza.
Right.
It's just, like I said, it all happened. I can't say coincidence, because it's not coincidence.
Doors just open.
Exactly. And they came to me out of nowhere. And for some reason, something told me, go this route.
Right.
And then I would drive 6 days a week from Staten Island to Long Island, sitting in 2 hours traffic. I'd wake up at 5 in the morning, go to work construction, drive through traffic exhausted, covered in fucking dust and sweat from the day, and go train at night. Go back, get home at 10 o'clock at night, shower, eat, fall asleep at 12 a.m., and wake up at 5. Get 5 hours of sleep every night and do it again the next morning. For 2 years I did that. And for some reason, something told me, go here, do this at this time, and do that. And I fucking marched on and I marched on. And I just think, like, it's God's plan. It's not me. You know, it is me
Right.
in a sense because I do love it. But it's just, I feel like something's
feel
just,
like it's meant to
something's
be.
with me. Yeah, it's meant to be, something's with me, and I cannot be stopped. That's why when Mike prays, it reminds me of that. And that energy again comes into me. That's why I just feel like any injuries I have going into the fight or through training camp, it's just different. And it's not something in my head, like when he prays, it's not like something goes off in my head like, alright, yeah, you can do this. Something else comes inside of me, which I truly believe is God.
That's that spiritual, that supernatural
Yeah.
element of it, that supernatural aspect.
And that's what gives me that next gear.
And I tell him all the time, he's in the best position ever because he can learn from the people who were ahead of him and do everything better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He doesn't have to follow in a path. He could take bits and pieces of what Al did or what
Yeah.
Weidman did or what fucking Conor McGregor's doing or what, and you can incorporate all of that to make the perfect path for you. Which is insane. He's in such a good, and he's so receptive for a 21-year-old kid.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
Young, you're humble, you know, like you learn from people. Like even when we're in the gym, like with Tommy,
Right.
like yo, can you do my like a
Yeah.
guy who trained? He knows Ray. We were in the gym training, and he would just went up to him. He's like, hey, do you mind holding pads for me? I'd love for you to hold pads for me. Show me what you know.
He
Like
goes and does it.
yeah, like I'm like a sponge. Like whatever you
Right.
got to show me, like I want to learn it. Just
Yeah.
give it to me.
Right.
Like that's the attitude that you need to have. You know what
But
I mean?
he's a 21-year-old kid, and I forget that all the time. I don't give you any leeway of saying, he's young. I never do.
Right.
Because I've never met anyone at that. I can't talk to a 21-year-old. They're like, what do I fucking idiot? You know what I mean?
Yeah, even me, I can't tell you my fucking
It's hard.
age.
He's dude, if I had half the sense that he has at his age when I was it's insane. I was a moron. I shouldn't have even been allowed to speak out loud in public until I was at least 25. Easily. And even from then on, it's questionable.
What's funny too is I don't know many 21-year-olds that listen to Eminem the way that you do too.
Oh man,
That
I love
too.
that.
You also know good hip hop at 21. Thank God.
Besides the
Big
fact
out,
that he
yeah.
didn't know Billy Joel, though.
I didn't
That's
know Billy
a little
Joel.
crazy.
It's one of the best stories ever. One of the best stories ever.
Yeah. Al fucking. Oh my God, I was driving with him. We were going to Long Island to watch
The, PFL
some MMA
fights.
fights. Yeah. And then Al's texting me something, whatever, blah blah, and he said something about Billy Joel. So I'm like, who the fuck? I look at John. I'm like, yo, who the fuck is Billy Joel? I text Al. I'm like, yo, what the fuck is that, bro? What, that was you?
Yeah.
Yo, this fucking rain is crazy.
Yeah.
whatever. We're marching on, baby.
So you text Al.
I text Al, I'm like, yo, I don't know who Billy Joel is. So he texts me back. He goes, Jesus Christ, grow up, Dennis. And I look at John. I just had my phone in my hand. My eyes fucking open wide. I'm like, yo, I think Al's mad at me. I was like, I'm like, he told me to grow up. I'm like, you think he's serious right now?
Yo, you want to see a better face than the Dennis I'm scared of ghost face is the Dennis is Al mad at me face. But he was in my car looking at the phone like this, like,
John, like, what do I say? John, like, is he really mad at me? Is he serious right now? I was freaking out.
Then we get to the fights, and Al is just fucking drunk and nothing but smiles.
Yeah, he's
just
awesome.
fucking around.
That's amazing. Yeah, he was fucking with me. But
So
I was
fucking
like, oh my god. And then it became a joke.
Yeah,
like,
now it's a thing.
Every time I say something like dumb or like naive or something, he'd be like, Jesus Christ, grow up, Dennis, you know?
We'll fucking, me and Al look at each other and be like, fucking, Jesus Christ, man.
yeah.
Just grow up. Just grow up.
So, Mike, what are your long-term goals? Like, what do you want to do? What do you want to be? You know, what do you see yourself doing? Yeah.
I hate talking about myself. God, this is so hard. I guess I would want to run a church.
Okay. In Staten Island?
Yep, I guess, yeah, in Staten Island. I would definitely want to run a church in Staten Island. I flirted with the idea of starting a business, starting a coaching business. I don't know if that's actually going to happen, but I definitely want to start a church. I can see that. I think that would probably be when my gift would be the most effective. I think.
Where you could affect people's lives and touch them. And
I would love to do church the way we do it, where it would be very intimate, where it would be very personal, where people can have this genuine, authentic, real experience with God.
Right.
And also that during the week they would get theological training, they would get apologetic training, they'd be able to defend what they believe against science or against skeptics. When I say against science, I mean like against this new science of atheism and
not in a fucking defensive way.
Right. Just in like to be able to assert what they believe, to grow people's confidence in what they believe, to do discipleship the right way from what we see in the New Testament. That's what I would love to do. Street evangelism, street ministry, doing music on the street again with people, things like that. I think
that was one of the most brilliant ideas I've ever heard. I don't want to give the idea so no one else steals it.
I'm telling you we're going to do that. I'm telling you the stars are going to align right.
We have to.
And we're going to be doing that. Everybody utilizing their gift on the street. People are going to come to the Lord. There's going to be spray paint involved. There's going to be hip-hop involved. There's going to be hitting pads involved. It's going to be crazy.
You let me know, bro. I'm always down. You know that.
It's going to work. I think it's brilliant. He would be a fucking great mental and fucking, what's called, coach?
That's what he was talking about. That's the business he was saying.
I know.
I was thinking about trying to start one.
I didn't want to give too much off about it, but
no,
it would be fucking phenomenal. I think he'd be great at it.
Yeah, I hope so.
I agree. No, I agree with that.
I think you might as well do that in the meantime. I mean, who really knows?
And you love to do it. You're good at it.
Yeah. Plus, I love people, especially people that are hungry. Like, if I can help you, like if you come to me and ask me for advice, like, Mike, what do you think I should do in this situation? Man, I will carve out, especially if it's somebody I care about. If somebody I don't care about, I'll carve my time out. But if somebody I care about, I'll give you my left kidney.
Hell yeah. If someone shows that they're hungry, it's the best thing in the world. Because then you can just fucking jump on and really help them out.
And you know what's so funny? Like, growing up, like, I guess, like, without a dad and things like that. And, I mean, don't get me wrong, I was so blessed. I had so many great guys in my life to, like, teach me what it was to be a man. But, like, I just think about, like, as a young kid, like, transitioning through life, being from, I don't know, junior high to high school to college to adulthood. And, like, think about, like, wise counsel. Like, how important it is to have wise counsel, like a sound mind pouring into you.
Especially as a man.
Especially as a man.
It really is important.
If I could be that for people, for wise counsel, I mean, I'm as happy
as the world.
As happy as a pig in dirt. Exactly.
I can't speak for what a woman needs. I have no idea. But for a man, we need that guidance. Like, we need it because we're fucking knuckleheads. I went through my life was the exact same trajectory as yours. You know, my dad wasn't around, so I was little. I didn't have that father figure, so I looked in all the wrong fucking places. Yeah. But I did have an amazing support system. I had an amazing support system of men in my life. But you're right. You need that, like, you need that voice to kind of guide you. Otherwise, you can get reckless and be a fucking knucklehead real quick.
Oh, yeah.
Insane.
It's in our nature, I guess, to be like that.
Yeah, it's all
so even like me, you know, touching on that too. Obviously, I'm a fighter, you know, and I have my moments where I'm crazy and shit. Like, we're guys, I'm a fighter, you know, it is what it is. But having, like, someone like my dad, who I look up to, and I put my head down to.
It's important.
Right.
It's like you're saying. We as a man, we need that.
Yep.
And I'll be fucking 50 years old, grown ass man, have a family, and I'll always put my head down to him.
But you need, that's the king of the castle.
Yeah.
And it sucks, but like the way I learned the most lessons was I learned how not to be. You know what I mean? Rather than being taught what I should be doing, I learned, oh, this is what I shouldn't be doing.
Right.
Like you know what I mean? I had to fuck up. I'm still like that. You tell me the stove is hot, I'm gonna fucking touch it to find out.
Yeah.
Idiot.
You know, I remember when I was, my uncle, my mom's brother, he passed away, but he was like a father to me. The man was unbelievable. Just, you know, and I remember I was telling him, we were driving home from a Met game one time at Shea Stadium. That's how long ago this was. And I remember talking with him and telling him how angry I was that my dad wasn't around. I remember telling him how angry I was that my dad wasn't around. And I was like, you know, my dad had money, he had power, he had this, he had that, and look at me. And I was like, and I got nothing. Like, I don't have any of that. And I was like, you know, I want this, and like, I should get this. And I just remember just like this strange sort of like frustration that led to this mindset of entitlement.
Yeah, resent.
Yeah, and I remember my uncle was like, listen, kid, I love you. And if you ever need anything, you can always come to me and I'll talk to you. He said, but I'll tell you right now, no one gives an F that your father is in jail. The world doesn't care that your father is in jail. So you better get over it quick because nobody's going to hand you anything.
Wow.
Bro, that was one of the most valuable lessons I ever learned in life. And I needed someone who loved me enough to tell me the hard truth.
Tough love.
Yeah. Oh, you're upset? Guess what? No one cares.
No one gives a fuck.
No one cares.
And it's not say literally. I mean, listen, if you call me, you're upset, and you fucking
right, yeah, no,
but the world
right.
in general, like your
The world in
boss, your
general,
job,
exactly.
your fucking, they don't care.
Yeah.
The world's gonna keep fucking moving, so you got to figure out how to
That's
keep
it.
up.
That's it. Go out and get yours. Don't sit here and mull over this.
Mm-mm.
You're gonna watch the parade go by. So true. And again, wise counsel. If I could be that for somebody else, happy as a pig in poop.
And he called the shit poop. It's from Billy Madison. Did you ever see it?
Yeah.
I never saw it.
Billy Madison.
Oh, they're gonna be like, fucking no, I never saw that one either.
We
Who's
grew
that
up
guy?
on Billy Madison.
Yeah, we did.
Is that the one with O'Doyle rules?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Come on, bro.
Is that the one? Oh, you're breaking my heart.
No.
He makes me feel so old all the time.
No.
Oh,
Old
yeah.
as shit. Yeah, he makes me feel old all the time.
No. Al does say I'm growing up right in front of his eyes.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Me and Al have become like his surrogate, just big brothers. Like we'll look at each other sometimes, just like,
You serious?
yeah,
It's amazing.
just proud of you now. Yeah,
No way.
yeah, we're just proud of you. That's it.
I did not know.
Remember when he
this.
was fucking throwing me under the bus with Ray?
Oh yeah.
You know?
But he's
Tell
his
that story.
manager.
Yo, the last fight that we were at, Dennis wasn't even fighting, Charlie was fighting, and it's right before the fights, everyone's just hanging out, and we go upstairs and we meet Ray, and we're bullshitting. And Ray's giving him shit about not taking care of his injury and all that, and then he starts busting Al's balls, Ray. And Al's going, well, he's his fucking manager, and I'm like, piece of shit, shut up, stop throwing me under the bus.
Amazing.
I fucking love him. Al's the best.
I fucking love
The
Al.
best.
Dude, he like he's a famous fighter.
Yeah.
And like
I
I
don't-
find myself sitting in the guy's house, like on his couch, hanging out with you guys. I'm like, this guy just let me in his house. He doesn't know who I
Yeah.
am.
He
like,
is one of the best human beings
Yeah.
I've met in my
Just a
entire
genuine-
life. Legitimately.
Legitimately. He's changed my life. He's changed me as a person. He doesn't even know it. I don't even think he knows it. You know, like
I don't
he's
know.
just made me a whole different human being, and
It's-
then in the best way possible.
That's what I say all the time is the way that I love Dennis, because Al is the way that he is to Dennis, I'll fucking do anything for Al. I really will. I genuinely. That's the kind of relationship. He's a good fucking dude, man. He really is.
yeah, Al's
He's an exceptional human being.
Yeah.
I don't even look at him as a
Me-
UFC fighter,
neither.
a big
I
name,
know.
celebrity. He's my best friend. You
Right.
know, he's like
It's Al.
I live with him. He's my big brother. You know, he looks out for me, and I look out for him. Like if someone, and I know the type of guy he is. Like if someone like tried to pop off on him, he wouldn't give a fuck. Like
Nope.
he'll just be like whatever. But the second the guy says one word, I'm coming from the side. I'm sucker punching that motherfucker through a car window.
Exactly.
You know, like, and that's the same for you and for you, Mike.
I
Like,
say the same shit all the time.
yeah.
If someone steps on my shoes,
Yeah, I don't
dumps
give a
fucking
fuck.
whatever on
Right.
me, I'll be like, hey, I'm sorry. let me buy you a drink. Let's chill out.
Yeah.
Somebody fucking looked at Dennis wrong and fucking hitting him with a bomb.
Yeah, they're getting stabbed in the face.
Like, all my
easy.
logic and fucking reasonability is going right up.
Yeah, God forgive me, when we're at your fights, and all I'm thinking is, like, if this crowd gets out of hand,
Oh, man.
Oh, you got-
in a blaze of glory.
If
It's gonna be a bloody mess.
some, oh man,
I don't even
even.
came and tell us. Nope,
Yeah,
I was
can't
literally
even
sitting there
say
saying
too
it. I
much,
can't
yeah.
even fucking say the story. Can't even
I'll
tell the
say this
story.
though, if shit really does hit the fan,
Better hope you're on
just-
your fucking Dennis
yeah,
side.
just wear my shirt, have red and black on or something,
Yeah.
cause that place will burn to the fucking ground.
Yeah, just
That
literally
whole
just start
casino will
yelling,
be in
"Sheep,
flames."
hey!"
Sheepa, yeah.
Just start
Sheep
yelling
it.
that.
That
You see
whole-
anyone dangerous coming near you just fucking
Yeah.
yell that, and they'll know, oh, okay, it's with us.
If something happens, a lot of those people in there, they don't give a fuck if they die, if they go to jail, if they don't care.
Yeah, you attract an interesting crowd.
Yeah.
Dude, when we're at those fights, I feel
Amazing.
like I'm in the octagon with you. So whatever like it's so high level intensity that it feels like you're about to have a fight.
Yeah, no,
And-
it feels like you're on the battlefield in the whole
Yeah.
arena.
And I feel like there's almost like levels to it. Like, okay, there's the gladiators in the octagon, okay? And then outside the octagon in the crowd are the people that have come to watch these gladiators, and some of them are in one guy's corner
Yeah.
and the other is in the other guy's corner. So we have that one level of fight that's the octagon, and then we have the other level, which is the people that are watching,
Right.
which are just as crazy, if not crazier, than the two guys in the octagon, because they're ready to throw down and die and not get paid for it.
Yeah, no, outside,
In the
no
crowd,
fuck.
yeah.
And usually, very unfortunately for the other people,
Yeah.
we outnumber them
Yeah.
massively.
Yeah,
Yeah, but I can tell you right now that the moment that I walk into that arena for your fight, I'm sizing people up.
Oh, yeah,
Really?
100%.
I could probably
100%.
take this guy, I could probably take that
At
guy. This
Nassau
guy's big,
Coliseum.
I gotta hit this guy with something.
At Nassau Coliseum, when he made his pro debut in Bellator, I remember seeing people with the opposing shirt, and I'm walking by them fucking side-eyeing. I'm like,
Yeah?
yep, 100%.
Yeah.
Oh my.
100%.
You,
It
you
just
know
does
what?
something to you, man.
You
It
guys,
does
that's what I love about this sport, man. This shit brings, oh man, so much emotion. But you guys don't understand how. First of all, I hear everything. When I'm in there, I hear every voice.
Oh, I'm screaming like that.
I hear every single thing people say.
Screaming,
Everything. And in my last fight, I had the guy. I was going for a takedown, and I had the guy against the cage. Shaquan Moore. And shout out to him. He was a good, cool dude.
Tough son of a bitch,
Yeah, he
that
took
kid,
some
man.
fucking shots.
That kid
man.
was
That kid's
tough.
got a chin.
Yeah,
Yo, he
took
did
some
not go
shots.
away,
You
bro.
landed a right hand on him. I think it was the
Second
second round.
round, yeah.
Oh, I heard it in the back of the auditorium.
Yeah.
I was
Listen,
like, oh.
Shaquan brought the best out of you, man.
No,
he
yeah,
he made
me
you dig
work.
deep.
Yeah, he made me work. And I remember I had him against the cage, and I think it might have been Pumi was in the crowd. He was up in the bleachers,
Yeah.
and I heard him say push and pull, random fucking.
Push and
I didn't
pull.
It's just,
I love
right,
it.
you just hear it.
I had him against the cage. So when you have someone against the cage and you have their legs, you push them
Right,
to off
right.
balance them to
And
get
then
their
pull,
hips,
yeah.
and then you suck their hips out. And I was going for it, but I was tired. I
Mhm.
lost it, you know. But I hear everything in there. So now going back to before,
It's crazy.
you guys, the fans and my people make such a huge difference in the fight. Like you guys, it's a fight. I'm fighting this guy,
Right.
and you guys are fighting his people.
Right.
So you guys overpowering them makes me overpower
Right.
him at
Just
the
with
same
that
time.
noise and the energy.
That's so
Because at the
crazy.
end of the day, that guy's working hard to take me out, and in my head I have to picture like this guy's training for me.
Mhm.
If I was training for someone like me, I'd fucking work out 3 times a day, you
Yep.
know? Because I know at the end of the day, like I can knock somebody out, and I am dangerous on the ground too, in
Right.
certain respects. So I know he's training hard, and what it boils down to is in those 15 minutes, whose will overpowers the other, who breaks first.
Yep.
And you guys in the crowd screaming and making noise adds to that power and adds to my will on top of
It's
everything.
amazing.
It's a crazy dynamic.
Just so you know, the last fight that I was at, not the last one, the one before that, my wife was there with me. We were sitting in the bleachers, we were right by the octagon, and I remember, right when I was like, all right, Dennis
Wait,
is
you
up
were in the
next.
bleachers for that fight?
Yes.
Okay.
Not the last one, the one before
Right.
that. And I remember I was like, all right, Dennis is up next. I took my wallet, my phone, my car keys, my watch, and the chain that I was wearing, and I put it in my wife's bag.
I was going to say, handed them off.
And she was like, "What are you doing?" And I was like,
Yeah.
"Just in case anything happens, you go to that exit right over there.
Right.
Just in case anything, go to the exit over there."
One of the worst experiences was that same fight. Now, your fans are scattered all over the fucking
Yeah.
place. We're in the bleachers. I see your cousin, one of my best fucking friends, his giant ass head, and it looks like he's getting into a scuffle with people on the other side, and I'm like, oh my god, I can't get across. And not only I could barely do something, I'm the fucking manager, he didn't even come out yet. I'm like, oh shit.
I saw that. I remember that. There was something that was going on in the crowd.
Yeah.
So it was a bit of a scuffle.
That night, thank God, the other people should thank God, because they sparked it off. They started coming to my people and saying, fuck you guys, fuck Albanians. Yeah. The only thing that saved those people's lives was them being with their wives, was my people being with their wives, because they didn't want something to happen to their wives. Otherwise, and then because of that whole situation, they're not bringing their wives anymore, just in case. The last fight, there was no, I don't know if you noticed, there was females there, but they were not anybody's wives. Right. These guys said from now on, they said, those people better thank God, because if our wives weren't there, and if you didn't shake his hand after the fight, they said, Dennis, I'm promising you right now, they were all together when they told me this, I saw them out the next day, they told me, Dennis, if you didn't shake his hand after that fight, nobody was leaving that arena. That whole place would have been on fire, burned to the ground, and we would have, they said, just to make sure nobody would have gotten out of there, we would have went down with them.
That's how fucking insane it is. Now this isn't all of his crowd. This is a select few.
Yeah.
And some of the most unbelievable human beings, just supportive. You gotta see the fanfare this kid gets.
I know.
I've seen him walk into fucking restaurants and shit like that, and people light up.
We ran into each other on Page Avenue. Remember we were in that restaurant? Yeah. His kid came up from behind me, and I was just like, what's going on right now?
He's wearing my shirt, too, which is crazy.
It was so crazy. You guys walked in, I was just like, oh, snap. Yeah. And there was guys there who were meeting you. You put it out on Instagram.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah. And that place is actually my cousin's place, too, as well, which is... crazy how things happen like that.
It's blowing up quick. Yeah. It's getting crazy quick.
Dude, you gotta make it. You gotta make it.
He's already made it. The world just doesn't know yet. I keep telling him all the time.
Exactly.
Yeah. Said he owns it all already. Yep. He owns it all already.
I agree.
It's just not in my hands yet. It's in my mind. It's just not in my hands yet. It's in my vision, and I know it. I see it, but the world hasn't seen it yet, and that's fine. It'll happen in its own time.
It'll actualize.
Yeah. And that's God's plan. It's not my plan. I always say that.
His timing is perfect.
Yeah, man.
His timing is perfect.
Yeah, it is.
Hell yeah.
How do you feel about fucking Cowboy and Gaethje?
Oh shit!
That's an interesting fucking fight. You heard that?
I love that fight.
Cowboy's fighting Gaethje.
Dude, the last month and a half of my life, I've been completely involved in so many things that I don't even know what's going on. I haven't turned the TV on.
Is Hulk Hogan still fighting?
Yeah, exactly. We're gonna watch The Undertaker. So wait, what's going on?
Cowboy is fighting Gaethje. When is it? Soon, right?
September. Oh, 14th.
It's the weekend after your fight. Oh, no, it's the night after your fight.
Yeah, September 14th.
Right. Oh, we gotta watch that.
That's gonna be our script.
Yeah. Are we gonna be in AC that night? No.
No, I doubt it. We're not staying the second night.
So,
believe it or not, after his fights, we really don't party that hard. I mean, he did the last time, but I dipped after 20 minutes. I was like, I'm drunk. I wandered out, and I was like, I just want to go home, back to the fucking room and eat pizza. So I'm just so fucking seriously.
More than anything, I'm hungry after my fights.
No, I'm sure. Yeah.
It's just mental exhaustion. It's like, it's finally over.
It's exactly. It's finally over.
Because for 2 months, that's all he does is eat, sleep, and fucking. And then on my end, I'm eat, sleep. Let's get everything ready for Dennis.
And that weight cut leading up to the fight,
it's crazy.
Promotion.
It's crazy.
Yep, dealing with tickets and fucking people. I fucking hate. It gets me so fucking mad.
We do it too, though.
When No, not this.
Oh.
When people ask me, what time am I fighting?
Oh, my God.
How the fuck... The show starts at 8:30. I'm the 10th fight, let's say. How the fuck am I going to know when I fight?
Do the math! It's fucking 3-round fights, 5 minutes around.
Yeah, but then each fight could be a knockout. Right. Or each fight could go to decision. How the fuck am I going to know?
Right.
The show starts at 8:30. If you're going to be there, be there. If not,
early.
Then fucking... I'm the 10th fight. Guesstimate. If you're working or whatever, think. What time do you think I'll fucking fight? I don't fucking know.
And that's why I tell people all the time. Like, I had my brother come to one of the fights with his fiance, and that was the biggest mistake I made because it's like, I'm on the fucking clock. Fight night. I'm talking to all of his fans, all of his family, all of his sponsors. You know, I'm dealing with all that shit. I got people asking me a million questions. I'm fielding all the fucking text messages and calls that are coming in. Everybody's getting deferred to me. What time's he fighting? What time is this? Where is that? Where are you? I gotta meet people for tickets, and like, I'm on the clock, man. I can't spend time with people that, you know, like my brother, my friends, everyone wants to come out. And it's like, come out, but don't expect to fucking see me. You might not get to have a conversation with me until 2 in the morning.
Right.
Like, that's when I'm finally off the clock, when I know this kid's good.
Yeah.
We ate, and then just
Real
don't
life.
chill out. Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. No, I love it. Man.
Yeah, I can't. I already took off that Friday and Saturday.
Yeah, I gotta put in fucking vacation that week.
That's sick.
Definitely.
I already took off. I made sure I'm gonna go down there, get a room.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be down there Friday morning,
Where you
super
coming with?
early, bringing the wife.
But
Nice.
I love it though. I love the chaos. Like, I
Oh,
love.
it's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun. There's something different
It
about
sucks
it.
while it's going on. It's
Yeah.
fucking crazy. But it's like, in hindsight, it's like, yo, it's the best time
Yeah.
of life ever.
Great, it's awesome.
You're so alive. Like, even the nerves I have the night before, you know, I sometimes I have trouble sleeping because of anxiety,
Right.
nerves. Of course, you know,
Right.
I'm not against
Of
that
course,
cage.
it's fucking human.
I just fucking, even that, like, I remember Chris Weidman called me before my Bellator fight the night before, and he's like, listen, he's like,
Sick.
take it all in. He's like, this is the time you'll feel most alive, and it'll go by quick.
I'll never forget that night.
This kid
I will never-
skipped, literally skipped like a child to the fucking cage, just looking around, looking at all of us, throws his fucking arms up when he sees
Yeah,
where we were.
I knew
It's
exactly
insane.
where you guys were,
Dude,
too.
So sick.
when you walked out, I remember looking down. We were in the second deck, directly facing where you came out, and I was just like, I was almost like
Right? Just in
starstruck.
awe.
I just stood up like this.
Yeah.
I'm like
you ever
a
see-
maniac.
Did you ever see the picture?
No.
There's a picture of a behind shot.
Oh,
of
I have
him
seen it.
where he's walking out, and you see me in the fucking
Like a little
distance in the
speck.
white shirt.
Are you?
You literally see me, and
that's
it's just
so-
such
he
a
has his
sick
hands up like
fucking.
this.
You know, it's so
sick.
funny because the section where we were sitting, when I got up and started screaming like a maniac, the guys behind me were like, "Oh, you're here for Dennis?" And I was like, "Yeah." They're like, "All right."
Everyone's freaking the fuck out.
All bugging
It was
out.
insane.
That's so sick.
It was
That
so
fight
crazy.
week was fucking crazy. The Bellator one.
That show's all awesome, man.
Your camera, I'm gonna kick it, bro. It just made the beep noise again.
Oh, it just shut off. I think it's fucking with you, bro.
Demon.
On purpose. Demon's pressing the button. Mike, cast the fucking thing away, bro.
I don't know. This demon looks tough. He's been working this camera for a while.
Battery's dead.
Oh, fuck it. Good thing we're not making a porn. That shit would fucking...
Just ruined the fucking cum shot.
Yeah. Alright, take two. We gotta do it again.
See if we can fucking.
Dude, that fight was wild.
That was a good time. And oh man, I was nervous for that one, actually. I remember driving to the arena with Al. Al drove me there. And I remember being so fucking nervous in the car. Like, I wasn't talking. Al put on music, trying to lighten up the mood. I'm just sitting there taking deep breaths. We stop at the gas station real quick. And he hops in the car and he's like... And then he's like just joking, being like a clown, you know, being playful, like extra playful, you know?
Right.
Super enthusiastic and happy and joyful. And he would keep looking over at me to see like if I'm laughing and like if I'm alright as he's doing it. And I just remember realizing that, and I'm thinking like, yo, I fucking love this kid, you know? Like he's just being so extra for me to
Right.
to relax me, to cheer me up. And I'm just like, yo, what a great support system and group of people I have around me.
And he's somebody that you can relate to also because he's a fighter. He's
Yeah.
been there.
Right,
He's
he's
been
got
on the
a-
largest
I look
stage
up to
that
him.
there is. Yeah.
I remember before I walk out to my fights, I'm fucking nervous. That's like the hardest part for me is when I'm waiting to walk out. That part, I get really nervous at that time.
That's gotta suck.
That fucking sucks. I'm like, yo, I'm about to fucking go fight. Like, can I just turn back around? Fuck this.
Right.
I want to fucking go home. Like,
And they make you get down there early.
Yeah,
They make you
the
get
fight
down there
before.
fucking early to the arena. So it's
Oh.
like hurry up and wait.
yeah, hurry up and wait. That's it. And then the fight before is on, and I'm sitting there behind the fucking curtain. I'm just like, yo, why the fuck am I here? Why the fuck am I doing this? Why couldn't I fucking pick something else? Stay in school. I'm like, can I just fucking turn back around and like, can I just look at my opponent and just be like, yo, can we just say fuck this and go home? Like, I don't want to do this
Just
shit.
go get a drink. It's more fun.
Yeah, like fuck this shit, you know? But in the midst of all that, I just look over at Al, and I just remember specifically him walking out to go fight Khabib. And just seeing him fucking loose, going, this fucking thunder in his
Having
eyes.
fun.
Just fight. Yeah. just like, yo, and I remember being at the Barclays Center and the fucking 17,000 people, whatever are there, and I'm just like, that's my fucking boy, you know, like, this is my guy. I train with him. He teaches me. He helps me. I'm like, yo, I could take on the world, you know?
It's a surreal experience.
Yeah.
And that's why I love seeing that when he's about to walk off. Like, when he's on deck, because in the bleachers where we are, we can see him.
Right.
You know, he comes up the steps, and you see he's got the look in his eyes where he's almost there.
Yeah.
He's almost there. And then his music hits, and this kid is fucking goes Super Saiyan. He just fucking really does.
Like, I'm like possessed, honestly. My mind goes empty. There's absolutely no thoughts run through my head. It's just empty. I don't think about, well, as I start walking to the cage, I mean, like, I'm not picturing the other guy. I just look around, and I just take it all in. My mind is absolutely empty. I'm like possessed. I'm literally like I'm possessed or something. And I don't remember a single second of the fight. Even to this day, like, I don't remember any of my fights. What goes on. I have to watch it after, and it feels like I'm watching a movie. It doesn't feel like it's me.
I told him the same. I don't remember his last fight. I can't. I just get fucking anxiety watching him.
Yeah.
I can't imagine what that's like being in there, because the adrenaline, even though you're controlling it, essentially, the adrenaline's still fucking going.
Oh, absolutely.
You know,
my senses are super sharp. It's just it's my body is moving.
Mm-hmm.
All the training kicks in, like, and my mind is empty. My mind is just looking at my opponent and just seeing his little tendencies, picking up on them, seeing his feet move, seeing where his eyes go and where his hand drops. That's where my mind is, and my body just reacts. And it's a odd state of mindfulness, and I can only tap into that when I'm in there. Otherwise, it's never happening.
And I think if you've never been punched in the face, like, you can't even begin to fuck up. Like, I could never even fathom what that's like on that level.
Yeah.
Like, I've been in jiu-jitsu and terrified of, like, someone's on my back and I'm getting choked, and you get that fucking panic. I can't even imagine what the fuck he could feel in a competitive level.
I mean, I've been in street fights before. I've sparred before, but I've never sparred MMA with, like, the little 4-ounce gloves. But I've sparred boxing with 16s, headgear, no headgear, and I've gotten into street fights before. But I've never been in a position in a street fight or even in a ring where I really got tagged.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I've never been hit like uh-oh, like, we're in trouble. Like, you know, sound the alarm, you're going down, buddy.
But you've never stood across from somebody that you've been waiting for 2 months that you know trained.
Who you know is trained and
fucking
competent.
trained.
Yeah.
You know,
But believe it or not, I have absolutely no fear, no pain. Like, I have no emotions. I'm not there. My mind is empty. There's no Dennis in there.
Right.
It's like, to be honest with you, it's like an alter ego kind of takes over. Like, I feel as if I'm like Alexander the Great. You know, that's why that nickname was kind of given to me. My middle name's Alexander, first of all. And I'm like, Alexander was a young kid taking over the world, conquering everything. And that's kind of like what came to me, like, the guy, some old coaches or whatever kind of like joked around with that with me, like Alexander the Great. And when I fight, it feels like this alter ego takes over. Like, I'm the young kid coming to conquer this fucking nation. And my mind goes empty. And I'm just like, I'm going to kill you. But it's not me. It's hard to explain. That's why I say, like, it's like I'm possessed. My mind is empty, and it's not me. My body just reacts.
I think
it's unbelievable.
I literally think that there's probably like I don't mean to sound spiritual or to make everything spiritual, but make it like,
spiritual.
It's almost like practical to some degree though. Like, God probably put
possesses me or something.
These instincts like in people, like knowing that like human beings would have to go to war. You know what I mean? Like this would be a part of like human existence. It would be a part of human life. So like there's like these instincts that certain people probably have more than others. Like you obviously one of them because you're supposed to be doing this.
Well,
but
it's literally in his DNA.
Yeah, it's in your DNA. Like where that's just like in there. Where,
no, like his ancestors, they fought back the fucking Turks. Like
like
his specific where he's from, fought back the Turks.
Yeah,
that's
like,
fucking nuts.
Like it could just be something that's just in there where like, okay, this is what happened. Like not everybody has that design.
Right.
It's just they just don't have it.
And
like,
that goes back to that cap, that ceiling.
Right. Like, and I'm not trying to make like a scientific or a metaphysical statement, but like just based upon my experience in life, if you look at it, like, yeah, okay, some guys have it and some guys don't. Some guys naturally have this proclivity to be a maniac warrior, and some guys have this proclivity to work behind the desk and push pencils all day long.
It's true.
You know what I'm saying?
It's true. That's like when I gave the example, you gave the example of street fights or sparring. I'm not saying it because I want to sound tough. I'm saying it because I knew in that moment, same for me.
Right.
Like, this isn't my fucking
I'm
calling at all.
gonna get mauled.
Murdered. I don't have it. I don't have the fucking.
Yeah, and I don't want to have it.
No, at all. I don't.
I
don't.
You know, that's terrifying.
Yeah,
but
it's crazy.
You know what's crazy? Like, I don't know if you've ever heard this. It's kind of like an old wives' tale about like Rocky Marciano, but they swear that it's true that he would sleep before his fights. They would ask him. They'd be like, "Rock, how you feeling?" He'd be like, "I feel tired," and he would go to bed.
In the locker room?
In the locker room. He just lay down and go to sleep for hours.
You know why I would believe that, even though it could be an old like. There's a Navy SEAL, Andy Stumpf, who's got a podcast. It's dope. It's called Cleared Hot. He talks about how when they used to be on missions, they'd be flying out for a mission on a helicopter, 2-hour flight, whatever it is. We just fucking nod out for an hour and a half. Like, you're going to kick some dude's door in the middle of the night with night vision goggles on and fucking shoot up people, and you're able to go to sleep? Like,
you know what?
On the flight over? Like, what?
I do believe that, because me personally, when I'm in the locker rooms, first of all, when it's time to go, it's time to go. I turn it on. But before that, I'm in there, I'm just fucking sitting down. Like, I am dozing off too.
Yeah.
I can't fall asleep, like literally just knock out. But I'm just dozing off. I'm in the corner, I'm just sitting, my eyes closed like this. Ray and Matt are just cracking jokes. I'm just sitting there laughing. Like I'm just fucking having a coffee with them, you know? Like, we're just having a little lunch. But I am dozing off in a way. But then, when like it's a couple of fights, when I'm a couple of fights out, like maybe 3 fights before me are on, I'm like, alright. I look at them, I look at Ray and Matt, I'm like, let's do this now? They'll give me a little nod. I'm like, alright. Put my headphones on, certain songs I listen to. I just walk, just by myself. I get myself in a corner. I just, like I said, just something takes over me. And it's fucking time to go. And and after that, it's just a switch that goes off. Let's go.
Not everybody has that switch.
No.
That's
Not
gotta be just, that switch is just, it's gotta be like a genetic thing, or calling, destiny, whatever you want to call it, just genetics.
And he's right, though. He does switch. Like, I've seen it right before he's,
You've come down. You came down. I was fucking chilling and joking.
I was going to tell a story. Like, I get backstage credentials, but I won't go back there. I feel it's for the corner, and that's it. There's no room for me back there. I got a job to do outside dealing with that shit. But I'll go down for a minute. I'll give him a hug. I'll tell him I love him. Tell him it's fucking due. It's time to go. And that's it. And I've seen him joking around. I've seen him joke around, but there's something different in his fucking eyes every time. Like, there's something different there. Like, you know what I mean? It's a gnarly experience.
You look and you're just like, there's something in there.
Yeah. Because I've seen him go through so many different stages in 24 hours that it's just fucking nuts. I wish that you could. You see it in his face in the video of when you were praying for him. You see it. You see there's just something different there, and it just doesn't do it justice, that video at all, man.
I know.
It really doesn't.
You gotta be there.
It's.
Yeah.
I mean, no, you can't be there, but you got to be there to fucking
Right.
to understand it. I mean, if you want to see the video,
it's on your Instagram.
Yeah, at John_Seery 13 SEERY. I don't know why we never plug anything. Literally,
right?
we never plugged anything.
I was definitely gonna tell him to plug everything in at the end.
Plug your Instagram, Dennis.
I'm just Dennis Bazooka. Just simple.
Spell it, bro.
DENNIS.
Not Dennis.
BUZUKJA. That's my Instagram.
I'm so not on social media. I'm the worst. I don't even know what my Instagram handle is.
Good. Plug the church, bro. No. See, you don't have to plug anything.
No.
You want to. Plug something, bro.
The church, I was gonna say, if anyone wants to, Mike is speaking Sunday.
Yes, this Sunday. I don't know what day it is.
Sunday.
The 28th. Sunday the 28th at 6144 Amboy Road. You should definitely come. You'll have a great experience.
What's the name of the church?
From Holy Mountain Ministries.
If you want, just go in, and I honestly, any single human being, it's not weird. Even if you've never, just random person on Instagram, if you message me, I would love for any person to come, man, female, child, woman, old, elderly, everyone.
we'll pray for you.
Please.
Pray over everybody that walks through that door.
This is an open invitation to anyone. Mike's Instagram, since he doesn't know, is Mike Testa, Testa music.
Music, that's right.
Mike Testa music.
Well, I gotta
He was doing
change
hip hop at the time. I gotta change that.
Nah, he needs to just start doing more hip hop.
Or that too.
That's the
Oh,
answer.
and John's coming Sunday to church, so you'll get to see.
I'll be at church.
Yeah.
You'll get to see John there.
The fucking heathen will be at church.
The fucking place is gonna burst up into flames.
Boom!
We'll have church and fire. It'll be even better.
Yes.
It'll be better.
We'll be walking through flames. I just got really lightheaded.
Did you?
Yeah.
You okay?
Like about to pass out type of lightheaded.
Mike, pray. Just hit him in the fucking
Really?
head. Do like what's his name does.
I swear to God.
Is it because you're hungry? Because I'm starving right
Pretty I am hungry. But I don't know.
It's also
something
hot
just-
as balls.
No, I'm not hot at all. I'm actually fucking perfect. Something just, I don't know. It just hit me mad hard. I don't know.
Demon, bro.
I'm good now, but it was like a split second.
Demon.
Be too close to John.
I know. Just,
Don't fucking touch me, you
fucking
filthy fucking soul.
filthy soul.
I'm joking.
You said something.
I got Mike with me. He's good. I'm chilling.
We were talking. He was like, "Bro, I want to cry black tears." What are you doing?
Yo, that was the other thing. Dennis was like, "Yo, I gotta talk to you about something. Come to my house right now, bro. We gotta meet up. This is dead serious." I'm like, oh, all right. I meet up with him after work. Go straight to his house because he lives right by where I work. And he's like, all right, listen, this is dead serious. Mike and his mom want to do this for me. They want to pray for me to get these things out of me, and they want to pray for you too. I'm like, what? What are you talking about? They want to pray for me too. He's like, do you want to do it? I'm like, fuck yeah, I want to do it. I'm like, if this shit really works, absolutely. I want to cry black tears, dude. I want to see some shit. I want some shit to happen.
You gotta come to church first.
Black tears. You have to come to church.
I'm down with coming to church this weekend. I didn't know it was that late, honestly. Because every time he's like, it's 9 o'clock in the morning. He's
I
getting.
never said 9 o'clock.
Then why would I say it's too early?
I don't know.
Maybe
I
I
don't
said
know.
something. You know what it is? I work every morning before church. I go into work for like a few
Maybe.
hours of overtime. Maybe that was what it is.
Maybe.
Something like that.
You gonna do a fucking guitar solo?
Yeah.
He's a
Yeah.
fucking beast. He plays the
Yeah.
guitar. It's different.
It's not what you think it is. Yeah.
It's definitely
Oh
different.
no, I know
Ripping
I
guitar
know for a fact
leads.
it's not gonna
Yeah.
be anything like a fucking Catholic church.
Just go in there expecting nothing. That's what I did. I mean,
I don't need any coaxing, dude. I'm so amped for it to see him speak without a doubt. Like,
Dude,
you know,
I think you're really gonna enjoy it.
there's nothing about me that's been defiant or resistant to anything. you
Oh,
guys
we'll
have
huddle
said.
up, we'll pray, we'll all cry. It's gonna be great.
I cry.
Yeah,
You
I do
know
need to
what?
go cry.
It's
Yeah,
gonna be great.
I cry a lot.
I cry a lot.
I cry a lot. I almost
So-
cried tonight, right now.
So we found out that we all cry a lot.
We call our moms and
Call
we're
our
in
moms.
trouble.
We call our moms. We're in trouble. Dennis is scared of fucking ghosts. Yeah, we're all just a bunch of pussies, I guess.
Pretty much.
I gotta tell you, I don't know how you guys I got here and I had to drink this Red Bull.
Alright.
And like I felt like for the beginning of the interview, I just didn't have my brains. Like I felt like I was brain fogged, my body
Really?
clock was kicking in. I was like, I gotta go to sleep. Now I feel more awake than ever.
Right, you're all amped up.
Keep
Like
this
if
bitch
we
rolling.
could redo this entire thing right now, I feel like I'd be
Just
so much more
reset and do it,
Yeah,
charge.
just on point.
Honestly,
I'm down if you're down.
they're gonna get better. Yeah, they're gonna get better as they go on. But this is hands down the best we've done so far. This is the most comfortable.
listen,
And
we gotta do another one if you don't mind
I'm
having
sorry.
me back.
And
I was
definitely wanna
honestly,
be involved.
I was honestly thinking about just making it the three of us
there's no
every
reason not
Sunday
to.
night.
There's
I would
no
love
reason
come
not
through
to.
and
And honestly, if one of you wanted to fucking record something and release content, we could do it. Doesn't, you know what I mean? But I would love to fucking.
The three of us?
Let me. I know I
100%.
have a stand and I have a phone clip too. We could probably like set up iPhones, things like that. I don't
Go
know
live.
how the audio would look, but maybe we could do something with their clothes.
You could go live. You could hook up a USB to the camera, and it would run the microphone right
My
off.
man.
Really?
Yeah.
Look at John doing all his
Gonna do
homework.
it.
John's
bro.
is fucking, he's
I'm
on
a,
his
I'm a
shit.
fucking idiot savant.
Yo, this is another thing though. So, this bothers me a lot.
I love these.
You know, so like the times where I feel like something's fucking with me at night and I can't sleep, I'll say it flat out. I think it's just demons fucking with me. And people are gonna hear this and be like, "Yo, this stupid sick motherfucker." But it's all good because I'm gonna stick to my guns. And I've been called crazy before.
Persistent.
I'm resilient. I'm tenacious. Dennis the Great.
Dennis the Great.
Dennis the Great. But I'll have periods where I feel fucking great. I feel super strong spiritually, super close to Jesus and everything, praying every night.
Not pedophilic.
No, not touching me in any way. But then I'll go on these fucking benders where I'm doing a whole bunch of crazy shit.
You go on a soul bender?
No. I guess that's what it's called. Where I'm going out late at night, being with people I shouldn't be. I can't get too crazy, and I can't
Promiscuous
say too
women of the night.
much. I cannot say too much.
Sketchy characters.
I cannot say too much. Doing things I know I should not be doing. That if I told my mom, she would cry.
He once burnt down an orphanage for retarded kids.
Cropsy. The story of fucking Cropsy. 2019 revised.
That's the craziest documentary. He really didn't do that.
Motherfucker's
He
sick.
really did not do that.
It was a Satanist.
No, I mean, you idiot. I'm saying, no, Dennis did not burn down a fucking retard orphanage.
Disclaimer. But, yeah, so when I do like that crazy shit, going out, partying, doing bad things I know I shouldn't be doing, and doing it in the most dangerous way possible, I'm sure you guys know what I'm referring to.
Yeah. We're all catching drift, bro.
Yeah. So,
Been there.
Yeah.
Burns.
When I go home at night and I try to sleep, that's when I feel like I'm the most, like my soul is like the most weak. My vibes are low, and I feel like I'm most vulnerable to being attacked by like these demons. What do you think? What do you think about that? Is that real? Is it in my head? Like,
I love this.
What I think that is, it's called conviction. You feel convicted.
So is it in my head? Am I doing it to myself?
No, I don't think so. I think it's... Did you ever have that before?
No.
No, it's because now that you come to this realization that you feel like you have somewhat or a relationship with God, that now you become self-aware, you become self-conscious. You have this conviction now, this moral conviction and this moral compass that says, like, I violated.
Right,
Yeah.
I violated,
like right or wrong.
Yeah.
Right, like I violated God's moral law, like I should not have done this.
Yeah.
So it's weighing on you. That's actually a good sign.
So, but my thing is now, those things that I feel, is that in my head or is that me really being like targeted? What do you think?
It could be a little bit of both.
The long and short of it, he wants to know if he has a fucking demon on him.
I think I might. My mom prayed for me that one time. Shit started getting hot.
I think it depends on what you expose yourself to. I mean,
We gotta do that exorcism, man.
like honestly though, like on a at least on a theological level, like especially, not to say that you did this or you did not do this, but I'm saying when you have sex with somebody else, okay?
Don't you have a soul tie?
Wow,
John, what are you doing?
I'm just listening.
What kind of?
Put your dick away.
Why are you making faces?
Just listening.
But sex is the most intimate form of humanity that you could have.
Oh, I was gonna say fun you could have without spending money. But
Oh my god, that's amazing.
Well, you always have to spend money, technically.
it's true.
Dear
It's
God.
never free.
It's terrible. Never. Oh,
Even
God.
an ice cream.
I know.
Ralph's Icy's right there.
But there's a reason why God says, like, this is something that I've prescribed for marriage. It's because sex and sexuality is something that's sacred.
Mm-hmm.
When you have sex with somebody else, in God's eyes, you're making covenant with them. On a purely scientific level, you're becoming one with that person. Like, you really are.
So you're like super married to a lot of people.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I love his face.
I don't know what you're talking about,
I
John.
love his face.
Cut that out.
But even like if you go out and you do things like that, like I personally do feel like you're giving like a piece of who you are
To them?
to them. You know what I mean? And they're giving a piece of who they are to
Right.
you. And you become, to some level or to some degree, and I feel this even, I really do feel this just personally, not even like on like some spiritual God thing, like honestly, I just feel like you're experiencing something with that person that is special. Now, it's supposed to be intimate. It's supposed to be intimate. Now, you could perform an act of intimacy and have no intimacy with that person.
Right.
Don't get me wrong, but I do think that there is something there that winds up happening, and you may be sitting in your bed with a piece of that person.
But that's also the flip side to that argument, like the philosophical side of it is, you're giving a piece of yourself to someone, you're gaining a piece of them in return. It's not
What if
all
they're
about just
negative,
losing.
though?
Listen.
Because there have been times where...
It's called chlamydia.
No, not chlamydia. I know what that feels like. That's not what it is.
It's not good.
But I feel like it's just... There's been times where I felt in love and on cloud nine.
Right.
There's been times where I'm just like... Just negative, down, So I don't think I'm really getting the best of those depends on the person. Maybe their soul, maybe what they have attached to them.
It's up for fucking debate if you really do get something of somebody. But
just to touch on a topic I think you might be alluding to, I know somebody who had sex with a very, very high level witch.
Okay.
Had sex with a very high level witch. Was very involved at her coven, and she would literally. He told me that they would find these chickens
squirming around because I'm getting turned on.
They would get chickens.
He just looked at my dick.
They would
creep.
Can I feel it?
They would cut the hearts out of the chickens, and they would have a seance using these dead animals. They would have these animal sacrifices. Like this chick was involved, yeah. And he had sex with her, and every single time they would have sex, he would have this nightmare, this crazy nightmare, that he was involved in a black mass, and that he was being sacrificed on the altar.
What?
It's crazy. Yeah, but you guys got crazy stories, but he would tell me all these stories about because he was having sex. So it could be that he's becoming attached, he's becoming one with this person, and there's some sort of spiritual transference that's taking place. So it could be that something like that is happening to you if you're going out doing whatever it is that you may be doing, whether it's that or something else. You could be bringing something back, just like the demon that said to me, going back earlier in the podcast, I'm coming home with you tonight.
That scares the shit out of me, that story.
Yeah.
So when you brought up abandoned mental asylums, I used to go when I was younger. We used to play me and my friends. We used to play manhunt in cemeteries. We broke graves like fucking dickheads by accident. Yeah, but we'd run on top of them and we'd fucking break them.
Yeah.
And then I'll never forget. One time I went to Seaview, right here in Staten Island. Fucked up history behind it.
Abandoned Seaview Hospital.
Yep, infamous.
Scary shit.
It is.
There's actually a documentary on Netflix if you want to check it out called
No, it's not
Cropsey.
on there anymore.
It's not on there anymore? Alright, well, if you can find it, it's called Cropsey. Cropsey.
Great documentary. And I remember being there. There's a church in Seaview. I don't know if you know this, in the farm colony. There's it was a church, an abandoned church. When I walked in there, that was the only place in the whole Seaview where I felt okay. It was just weird.
In the church?
In the church. It was abandoned. There's no roof on it. There's no steps, just a metal framing of the stairs.
Was it before you were religious or?
It was way before. I didn't give a fuck
cool,
about the shit at the time.
That's a cool fucking.
Yeah. And then I didn't realize it until I walked in there. I'm just like, I feel good here.
Right.
And then I'll never forget. I walked out and I make the right. There's a pathway. And I see a little girl singing. And it brought back. It felt like I went to a different realm. Like I was there before. And I fucking ran for my life. This intense fear came over me, and I ran to my friends, and I explained to them, and they were like, yo, what the fuck are you talking about? They were terrified, too. They weren't like, yo, you're crazy. They were terrified, because I'm like, I've heard this. It was a little girl singing, humming, and I felt like I was in my heart's racing right now, because I'm remembering this shit, and I fucking sprinted out of there, and I went back another time to the tower, and I heard something in the vents. It probably was a fucking squirrel, who knows, but I sprinted out of there. But that day I was playing with there's file cabinets there with all the patients' names and shit. This is a different Seaview. It's a tower. I don't know if you've ever been there. It's like a 7-story. It's in the middle of the woods behind the JCC. It's crazy. Like the windows are still intact. That's how like untouched it is. But
I've seen it, but I've never.
There's no way you've seen it from the street.
No, not from the street. I've been
Pictures
beyond
of
the
it?
fence. Yeah.
You have to like go into the woods, and then around it is like. In a full circle around it is like a ditch. It drops like fucking 50 feet. And then you have to go back up 50 feet. And then it's fenced off once you get to the top of the other side.
Fuck you.
It's like they don't want you to be in there.
Obviously.
And I remember I walked in, and to the left there's a fucking piano right there. And then on the right there's a couch. And on the right, on the wall, it says, "Where have all the children gone?" This place is fucking creepy, bro.
Fuck.
This place is creepy. There's electrical chairs in there. And I remember I tried to record this shit, but my phone turned off. And it was just, my phone was normal, but it just turned off. It wouldn't work in there. I remember this shit. I go up.
a living Blair Witch Project.
Yeah.
Bro, I walk up. I go up maybe 5 floors. And it's a big room. And there's like cabinets in there. File cabinets. And I open them. And it's people's fucking files.
Still there?
Still there.
Shit.
And
That's
I start throwing them like a dickhead. Fucking around. I left. I go straight to jiu-jitsu that day, and I'm like feeling a little hot, and the sensei at the time, he puts his hand on the back of my neck to like show the technique, and he stops in the middle of class. He goes, "Are you all right?" Yeah. I'm like, "I'm good." He goes, "No," and he puts his hand on me again. He goes, "You're on fire right now." I'm like, "Yo, it's hot out." He's like, "Dennis," he's like, "something's wrong with you." He's like, "I'm calling your mom." He's like, "You're sick." He's like, "You got just go home."
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, "All right, whatever." My mom comes. I go home, dude. I lay in bed, and this is not made up. This is nothing. I started feeling hot, but I was like, whatever. I'm not sick. I don't give a fuck. Tough guy mentality. I lay in bed. Maybe 2 minutes later, 2 minutes go by. I'm on fire, John. Like I've never been before. I felt like my skin was like someone lit me on fire. I'm in bed, and I could not move my body. I had no control over my body. I was paralyzed.
Get the fuck out.
I started freaking out. I'm screaming for my mom. I'm like, "Yo, I can't move. I'm fucking paralyzed, this and that." I'm like, "I'm stuck. I'm on fire." She gave me some Advils. And she's like, "What did you do?"
Fucking solution for being on fire.
No, she's like, "Take some medicine." And I never take pills. No Advils, no Tylenol. I don't give a fuck. I'm like, I'll fight through that shit. But I'm like, I gotta fucking take it. I was like, she gave me 2 Advils. She's like, "What did you do?" I was like, "Yo, I went to fucking Seaview."
Oh.
She's like, about to start crying. She's like, "Dennis, why did you do that? Why did you do that? I told you stay away from these places." I'm a fucking knucklehead. I didn't believe it. So she starts praying. And I just fall into a slumber. And I wake up. Eventually I wake up. The next morning, I fell asleep like 8 p.m. I wake up the whole next morning. I slept like 14 hours. And I start getting control of my body again. She just said she prayed for me all night. And I know for sure that was a fucking demonic thing.
Probably wouldn't shock me.
It's fucking crazy. Let's end on this note. We did 2 hours and 45 minutes.
Get out of here,
Yeah.
really?
That's a nice amount of time.
Hell yeah,
That
it
felt
is.
like fucking an
2
hour.
minutes.
Yeah.
Yo, tell your mom to pencil us in for a couple's exorcism.
Yeah.
Couples exorcism. She told me, she said she has no problem doing it for you, but she goes, he has to come to church. I have to get to know him. She goes,
100%.
he has to like have some attendance, only because she's like, the term that she uses is, if I open him up, I become spiritually responsible for him.
Cool, like a fucking god mom?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah,
That's
essentially.
dope.
God mom. That's how my mom is. She's like,
That's cool as shit, though.
yeah.
But yeah, no, I would do it. I would do it completely respectfully. I wouldn't be a jerk.
We're having fellowship after church next Sunday. We're all going to Rich's house. You guys coming?
It's fellowship.
I have my little cousin's fucking birthday party. They
Well,
told
maybe
me
you could
about
come
it.
later.
Okay,
Um,
what time are you guys gonna be there until?
I'm probably gonna be there late.
Alright, so I'm down with that.
You
Yeah.
want to come with me?
I would love to. I just can't promise because of what's going on here. That's the only thing.
Right, that's right. All right, well, if you can,
Right.
we come to. You met Rich.
Yeah, which is cool.
He's
as
got
shit.
an awesome house. The best house to have a party at.
Yeah, it's a
We're gonna
dope
go there
house.
because we dope.
Everybody, thank you for fucking listening.
Listen, I hope you guys like this podcast because I fucking enjoyed it like crazy.
Yeah, it's been
So,
the best one
guys,
so far.
thank
Love
you
this
so
one.
much
It's
for
probably
having
the best
me.
one we'll
I
have.
definitely
I
want
would-
to come back.
I would do this every fucking night without the microphones on.
Yeah. Well, we do this pretty much on the regular.
That's what I said. Like we've been doing a podcast fucking forever, just not recording.
In the parking lot on South Avenue.
Pretty much.
Donuts.
Everybody, we out. Peace.